A triple kill, but Sona Finn, he'll deny the plant. Easy super kill. Oh my god! Sona Finn will find more!
7 seconds left, they gotta pick up the diffuser, but Dami lines up both! Dami with the 1v3!
Device, misses shots, he's gonna have to go for the first. He pushes on through, Dylan is better!
Round 2, and there's another as Tyrant is finished off, and they all line up for Bone! Hey everybody, welcome back to SCS. We've made it this far. We've had so many amazing games so far for the entire season, but it doesn't stop here. We have amazing quarterfinal matches tonight, and my name is Keg. We have amazing matches to see. But how is it all going to break down? Who exactly are we going to see? We have a lot of questions we need to answer tonight and see who's going to come out on top. But I'm very excited to see how it's all going to go. But we've come this far already with SCS, and we have also had a little bit of issues in the past now, but all of it has been resolved, and I'm super excited to see how it's going to go down tonight. But who's going to be casting these games? We're going to have to introduce them. We have our favorite casters here, Adam Jazzman and Jays Wills here to show us exactly what we should expect here tonight. How's it going, guys?
It's going great. It's fantastic. Fantastic matchup on our hands, and I'm excited to cast with Jazz for the first time here.
Oh yeah?
Really? The first time?
Yes, sir.
Wow, I never would have thought of that. I thought you guys were like, casting duos forever.
Make it look like it is.
Ooh,
that's what we'll do.
We'll have to wait and see. Oh, man, but I'm super excited. So we have our first matchup here tonight, and of course, if you want to follow up with future matches as well, you can always go to scsesports.com or go to @scsesports_ on Twitter. But Jays Wills, Adam, who are we going to be seeing for game number 1 tonight?
Well, game number 1, Arial Arise versus Biblioteca. If you're confused about the name Biblioteca, I don't blame you. This is 3/5 of the X-Synthetic roster. They've come on in, taken that spot, added 2 players to that team, and they are looking to tear it up in the playoffs here. But Arial Arise, that's the team we know and love. They've been here all season. Some roster changes in their own right as well, but I think it is going to be the Arial Arise of old. We've seen this team a lot throughout the season, and I think they're not going to disappoint.
Now, Jays Wills, walk me through this. Why is it X-Synthetic now? Why are they Biblioteca? What exactly happened during the season to make it that way?
Well, it wouldn't be a T3 league unless almost every single roster completely changed in the middle of the season. The same thing can be said for Biblioteca. The players, something happened over on the synthetic side. We don't need to speculate too much about that. Basically leaving their organization. And of course, the 3/5 rule means that it's the players who maintain the spot. We don't operate with a license or anything like that here in SCS. So those three out of 5 players who are on that roster, they maintain that spot, and they're going to be looking to go forward.
And of course, teams come and go all through SCS Amateur Siege so much, but let's look at the roadmap and see what's exactly happened so far this season and in the future season as well. We've already come 5 full weeks so far, 3 play days a week for the series, but now look at this. Big gigantic blocks no longer chopped in thirds. Week 6, 7, and 8, including the grand finals, are all going to be jam-packed with SCS action. But that's going to leave us right here, guys. Week 6, having 2 amazing best of 3s. Adam, what should we expect to see between Arial Rise and former Synthetic tonight?
Well, Arial Rise are basically just collecting all the Infinity Stones right now. They have won 2 really big leagues inside of T3, big names such as RSA, and probably the bigger one of CCS. So currently they are on top. They are the ones that are looking to get that 3rd ring and become the best dynasty that they can, because, obviously there is no team, there is no dynasty without success, and we've seen a lot from Arial Rise, but it was an Arial Rise of old. We had Max on the team, we had Gunner on the team. Now it's completely different. It's all young guns, all looking to prove themselves in one way or another. And what better way to do it against X-Synthetic, who probably have a little bit to prove as well, all being on this team for one reason or another, looking to shoot themselves up somehow. It's going to be really interesting to see both these teams, who are, kind of SCS OGs in terms of this, in terms of the season, duke it out.
2 different teams, almost 2 different rosters completely at times, it seems. Let's look at the 2 rosters and see what exactly has changed between now and then for now. And now, Adam, you did mention there were some changes, of course, for Arial Rise as well. Walk us through that. Who exactly left and who's coming in to replace those spots?
Well, you've had your core of Og, Dami, and Woods. They've been together for a very long time and have shown themselves to be a powerful trio. But then you're bringing on 2 new faces faces new, faces old, whatever you want to call them. Spiker, who was once playing on Project Neo under JJ Blast's banner, is now on Arial Arise to play in place of Adapt, whose PC exploded or his bird bit as well. I don't know, some natural disaster happened to him. And you're bringing on Axe, one of the best, players in T3 history, to try and battle it out against Ricena and Unfair, the core of Old Synthetic, and Helio and Nicolo, the two new faces.
Those two new faces, there's not a lot of information on them so far, but we don't even have stats on them. Jay-Z, what exactly do they need to do in order to fit into this new roster to really show up with the rest of X Synthetic?
Well, something that I always like to talk about with, most T3 rosters out there is it's not just about, having your core 5 that you can go far with, because like I already said, these rosters are changing every other day, it feels like. It's all about meshing with the team and providing those core 3 players the opportunity to shine. But what we do know about one player in particular, Nicolo, is that this man is a gunner in all senses of the word. This player not only could mesh well with Biblioteca here, but he could seriously pop off and prove to be that star player. Of course, only speculation at this point, but I'm really interested to see how both Helio and Nicolo can mesh with this roster, and if they're going to undergo, maybe some big changes with how they structure their attacks, their defenses, or is it going to be a little bit more composed, and are Helio and Nicolo just going to fill those old spots that those teammates left behind?
And so that might be a bit of an issue for Arial Arise as well, Adam. They may not know exactly how these two extra players are going to mesh into this now X-Synthetic roster. But the number one thing we have to look out for are the maps coming out tonight. We see the vetoes coming on by, and I'm not sure. What should we expect to see, Adam?
Nothing new. Nothing. Have fun with your Clubhouse in Oregon. We do have Chalet as our decider, however. That is going to be something that's really interesting if we can get to it. I feel like this is going to be the closer game of the night, because these are both teams that are in T3. They have something to prove, and they have a league to win. They don't have much of anything else. They're not over 18. They can't compete in Challenger League right now. So, but expect some of them to be in Challenger League. Watch them.
So what I'm wondering, though, is with Chalet, if we do see it tonight, Adam, are we going to be expecting to see any crazy playstyles? Because Theme Park is now gone, and with Chalet put in, it's a whole different game.
Chalet has changed, a lot. A lot of our expectations where it was going to be, basements defended, top floors defended. Nope. There's a lot going on. All 4 sites are played. None of them have been proven to be the strongest yet, but a lot of them look really good. So expecting out of these teams, I think whoever's just able to study this map more, whoever's actually been paying attention more to the strategy and the in-depth analysis of the map, I think they'll have the bigger advantage, because Chalet's not one of those run and gun maps as of yet. It's very tiny, however, so you can get away with frag power. We'll just have to see, man. This is going to be a really interesting Chalet.
And Jonah, do you think, too, having a full fleshed out team like Arial Rise, having over 5 weeks worth of practice, could come out with the advantage on Chalet if we do see it?
I absolutely do. I think that a map, especially like Chalet, is going to favor the team with the more practice, the more established organization, and the team who has likely been practicing more. Like you said, Biblioteca, sure, I bet they're putting in the work, but kind of forming this roster on the fly over the last week, the chances that Chalet is up to snuff with the Chalet of Arial Arise is unlikely. We may not get there. It's possible that Biblioteca could give us a 2-map upset here, but I really do think that if Biblioteca are going to win out the series, it's going to happen on Chalet, and they really are going to have their work cut out for them.
Ooh, that is a bold take. But you know what else is a bold take too, Jonah? We're going to look at the predictions now and see how much of us in this league are wrong. So far we do have a whopping, well, not even really a 50% for anybody. Look at me, I have my old hair. But also, Jonah, you are by far leading over everybody in these predictions with a 43%. So should we take your word for it tonight?
I would hope so, but also, I really want to see this series come down to the wire, and if Arial Arise don't win this in 2, Chalet could very well be a toss-up. I did say that maybe it'll favor Arial Arise, but it is an unknown map, and it's not like these teams are playing Siege as their full-time job. They haven't been, practicing and scrimming Chalet 24/7, so there is still an unknown element there. If we get that far, this really could go either way.
And Adam, really quick, before we get into the game, what are we expecting to see from Arial Rise on this first map?
Well, we talked about Arial Arise. They're very established, and give them an established map, and maybe they'll shine. We've seen them on Clubhouse back in the opening against Mystic, and they gave Mystic a run for their money. So to see Arial bringing out this as the first map could be really powerful, could be really dangerous. It's going to come down to all of it.
Well, there's only one way to find out, gentlemen. Let's get right into it. Map number 1 versus Arial Rise and X-Synthetic Biblioteca. Let's go. Have fun, guys.
All right, see you, Cake.
I love the energy on that, man. I love the energy on that.
Oh, good to have him here, man. It's so exciting to get that host in there, and gotta love Max always lending us his wonderful energy. And hopefully we'll be able to continue that energy going into this first map here. We're getting right into our bans, and we can see exactly what kind of clubhouse we've got in store for us. It's probably going to be something of your typical bans. It's Clubhouse after all. Maverick first off the board, no surprise.
Going to be seeing a lot of Hibana play, however, if Arial Rise choose not to ban it. That's the thing about Arial. I mean, they have control over what they want to ban. I don't expect anything too special, to be honest with you. Seems like a default map, default bans. It's going to be Thatcher. Yeah. So, thing about Clubhouse is that you're leaving Hibana up, and Hibana can make your downstairs defenses a whole lot of difficulty. But your upstairs, on the other hand, that's kind of where you need to start, proving yourself as a defender. That's where you got to start taking round after round after round, because once that basement becomes open, it can be really tough with a Sledge and a Hibana working against you.
We got the Cade ban next. Again, not a surprise whatsoever. Final ban, the Valkyrie. Pretty standard Clubhouse bans here. Does mean you still have the Maestro. Maybe we'll see a bit of Echo play as well, given his recent I'd say rise in the meta, especially in Pro League and Challenger League. We've seen a lot more Echo usage in the last few weeks, and it's been really interesting to see because it feels a lot like the meta of old when Echo had those invisible drones instead of the ones that are constantly in plain sight, where the attackers can just walk on in, identify them, take them out, and move on with their execute. But for now, it seems that we're going to see a pretty standard bottom floor lineup. Oh, one thing that I didn't mention yet, Mira, not banned out, pretty typical ban, but also left alive occasionally here. But what's a bit more interesting is seeing her in play on the bottom floor site. Even when Mira is left up, you pretty much only see Mira in gym and bedroom, occasionally downstairs in church and arsenal, but using these Mira windows well, it's actually not the easiest thing to do on the bottom floor.
Yeah, Mira is the reason why she's not very picked on Clubhouse is that there just simply isn't a lot that you can cover with a Mira as you can on Oregon. When we think of Oregon basement, we think of that E-box Mira that can just see the entirety of bunker door and basically shut down that entry until you get rid of that Mira window or until you open up the hatch. On this, there's not much like it. You can watch the basement stairs, but other than that, the push can come 3 separate ways, from dirt, from the kitchen hatch, and also from blue. And you can't watch everything with one big Mira window, let alone 2. So she can be really difficult if teams aren't playing around them. And I mean, honestly, once you get into blue or you get into the bottom of church stairs, you can still do what you regularly do with the Mira window pressure. Only thing you have to worry about is C4s and kind of overswinging.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Well, for now, we'll be able to see exactly how Arial Arise want to approach this defense. On the side of Biblioteca, we can see that they put Niccolo on that Jaeger. We might see a good bit of aggressive roam out of him here, but we also could see a 5-man turtle strategy. Both pretty viable approaches to holding this basement bomb site, but we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see actually how that's going to unfold. For now, Arial Arise just doing their due diligence, clearing top down, making sure they're not going to have to deal with any persistent roamers, and to make sure that Dami can walk on into kitchen and get the vertical play started early on here. Og, making sure top floor is clear. They're not going to have to deal with anybody on the bathroom side, nobody on the CC side. All 5 defenders are comfortably anchored on the bomb site. Unfair, the only player who's tempting a couple of swings out onto the main stairs area, but thinking better of it, allowing the C4 to speak for him instead. Dami gonna go down the second C4 now sent up, and Dami is not having a good time here in round number 1.
Crazy that they're doing that with no pulse, but it does take 2 C4s and to take down your probably most important operator on this basement side. No more vertical pressure is going to be happening unless you count. Well, actually, you do have breaching charges, so you can get a little bit, but not as reliable with the Sledge. And the big thing, those Mira windows, we talked about how they aren't the most effective, but it's not like you can ignore them completely. One of your main routes to getting rid of those is nades, and, well, Dami's gone. He can't work on those nades and get the Mira window cleared out, so you're just simply going to have to deal with it the way that it is. So really good start here for Biblioteca. Definitely what they wanted and definitely something that they got. Flashbangs here from Og. They're actually going to, or sorry, that was a smoke, so they're going to get rid. Well, they're going to try to get rid of the Mira window inside of blue, but it's jammed. So they're going to have to work their way down. Og, refrag a little bit late, but Rice trades him out. It's going to be 3 versus 4, and you've lost two people now. Niccolo opening frag of the entirety of SCS Season 5 for him. He'll start out on Axe, and now it's just Woods and Spiker in a 2 versus 4 against the world. I mean, they're really stuck in a situation that they cannot win. They do have hard breach utility, however, you cannot understate that. Woods looking for any sort of pick here, but he's going to get swung moto by Niccolo. A second kill for him. What a way to start out his appearance in SCS. He'll get fragged by Spiker. But with 35 seconds left, and with him all alone in a 1 versus 3, no case in hand, Na will swing up from that Goyo shield. Biblioteca take round number 1 in a convincing fashion. Good hold from them, and, well, Arial simply played right into them.
Well, good hold from Niccolo in particular. Well, we say good hold, it was really good job running around and swinging on the moto door several times. But excellent performance there, and that gunning ability that we predicted coming into this matchup, I think we might just be starting to see that. Scary stuff to deal with if you're Arial Arise, especially on that basement bomb site when you expect it to go a lot more, maybe methodically. Usually the basement bomb site on Clubhouse, that's the objective that is, I guess, most reminiscent of the 15-20 second executes that we don't often see as much now, but used to be just such a staple in the meta. And that kind of aggression, it can catch some teams by surprise. Arial Arise, no doubt, a little bit surprised by that kind of aggression from Niccolo. And, well, Biblioteca are happy to use that to their advantage, taking round number 1 on the basement bomb site, like you said, Jazzman, in a pretty convincing fashion. They'll head upstairs now to CCTV and Cash to see how their luck can continue.
What an opening round there from Niccolo. Definitely a player that you're going to absolutely need to watch out for. The swings, pretty aggressive, but honestly, the fact that he was able to get away with so many was just really daunting for Arial. Something they're going to have to work on is that trade factor, but in the basement, it can be really difficult. As we talked about those mirror windows, they can kind of split a team up in a way, so you can't really get those trades. You can't get those refrags. And that's what really led to the demise of Arial, is just losing numbers very early on as a result of that, and obviously losing Dami. Nades gone on Clubhouse of all things. Clubhouse is a spot where you play power positions, and if you're able to get people out of those power positions, especially defenders, with your nades, really, really important. But Dami wasn't able to get any use out of those. He was killed very early on, and it just kind of spiraled out of control. But they're going to be looking for a lounge take. See Dami positioned on a lobby door. Talk about Niccolo. He's going to be one to watch, and he's playing it outside a swamp here. Og is going to clear out the mute jammer without needing to swing too aggressively. Niccolo going to look to reposition himself. He'll almost lose his life, but he'll get himself up red and be safe for now.
We can see that Helio continues to hold down garage rafters, at least for now. Not yet having been challenged, but now that those Selma charges have gone down on the garage wall, that is soon to change. Og gonna make that happen, opening up that garage door, and now gonna send a couple of breaching charges downrange to deal with the Malusi Banshee on the staircase. Axe now working their way in from below, dealing with that shield excellently there. Good application of utility, especially from the vertical play, and that's gonna make this execute a lot easier when they actually do elect to go for it. Still ample time on the clock. Arial Arise just doing their due diligence right now, even made easier by the fact that Spiker is going to line up Helio and opening up that one for Arial Arise. Unfair though, he's there with the SMG-11, finding the response. Niccolo as well, another answer. This one onto Spiker, and that is both of your hard breachers off the board. Good thing is, at least for Arial Arise, they can rest easy. They've done their hard breaching job. They've gotten these walls open, but they are losing players left and right. Dami, the next player to fall out of this round, leaving Axe and Og alone in a 2v4.
Dami will rest forever as Biblioteca are just getting these opening frags. I mean, it's really, really difficult for Arial Arise to battle back against this. Once again, with your entries, 2 versus 4, they're working not only against the tide, but also against the clock. Unfair has been a power player already with this SMG. Beautiful shot there from Axe. Give him 2 more as Rice falls as well. It's looking a lot more winnable, but Niccolo, second kill for him as well. Og in a 1 versus 2. Does have case. And no one is underneath the C4. Na has one. He can throw it over, but it's not as reliable as just simply putting it inside of lounge and just getting it on the ceiling. Look at this. I mean, time is all against Og. He has to make a decision here, and a very important one is that Na is going to sprint down into lounge, prep that C4. Does he have enough time? Og will rotate away. The C4 will get blown. And Niccolo, he's going to swing and give him 3 kills. Biblioteca take round number 2, and oh my word, I think we're seeing a superstar in the making here, Jays Wills.
That is very possible here. I mean, wow. Okay, Nicolo, that's 2 rounds in a row, popping off, and to make his SCS debut in such a fashion, I mean, what a way to start. This element of surprise I talked about in the first round, sure, it was a little bit with the play style, but more so, it's just bringing such a player into this matchup. I don't think Arial Arise knew exactly what they were going to walk into. Now that it is abundantly clear they are dealing with a fragging demon, I think they're going to have to adjust and figure out some kind of way to pivot, because what we're seeing right now is Arial slowly going through their checklist. They're playing like the generally methodical and composed team that we often see, but Nicolo is dismantling that. 5 kills in 2 rounds. Really impressive performance so far.
It was only 2 rounds, and this man is like, he's coming in like an airstrike. Like, this guy is crazy. I'm kind of scared. We see, like, this is going to be the battle between Axe and Nicolo. I didn't think Nicolo was going to be the standout name for me. I've never seen him in comp before. Never, you know. I only remember him, like, demolishing me in Pummel Party. That's literally all the memory I have, but obviously he's, like, a demon and everything. This man is crazy. So, really good start from him. He's definitely showing up for his team, especially when they need it. And Biblioteca, I mean, it's early on. We can't call anything just yet, but they look extremely convincing. But they're going to be going upstairs. Going to be doing a pretty standard hold. Interesting shield on the con doorway. I think that's going to be used, you know, to kind of play and kind of connect that con and cache area a little bit more for the defenders, so I can be able to hold this a lot more fluidly. But is that a word? Fluidly? If it is, I just made it up. But let's see what Biblioteca can bring out here on their tertiary bomb site. If they can win this, this will be a really important round for them going on for the rest of Clubhouse.
Yeah, this could easily be the turning point for Arial Arise if they can make this happen, but I totally agree. If Biblioteca take this, the 3-round full site rotation sweep, Arial Arise would be in a very uncomfortable position. Oh, may have misdrilled that? No, he knows, but it doesn't seem to matter. Na's gonna win the gunfight anyway. He was ready for it. Pre-fires the angle. Og cannot hang with that one. An opening pick for Biblioteca, already starting off strong here on this gym and bedroom site. The gunfight taking place over in garage, but an important kill nonetheless. That's Ash off the board. You still got your Zofia, so you still got that soft destruction utility that you need, but that's another fragger that you'd really like to have back. Now, Arial Arise continue their pressure, dealing with this cache extension. Nicolo, the player standing in their way, playing on that con to cache doorway, just persisting, refusing to leave, just to make sure that Arial Arise do not get comfortable and they don't get complacent as they push on in. A perfect nade from Dami, and that could very well be the turning point in this round. Arial Arise, who have failed to kill Nicolo for 2 rounds prior, this could very well be their win condition if they can use this momentum to their advantage.
Definitely a huge frag on that side, and I take it over Og, honestly. Like, I get the utility on Ash is great, but, I mean, Nicolo has just been an absolute monster so far, so to get him off the board this early on, it's momentum that you definitely need now. Arial Arise, they gotta start working off this. They gotta start getting themselves in. Can't waste any time here. You only got 55 seconds left, and you've got a lot of ground to cover. Haven't taken control of Khan yet because of Helio's mirror window. So, if I'm Arial, you know, I'm working against the clock right now. I'm trying to speed run this as much as I can, pressure that mirror window while it's vulnerable, because right now I don't actually think anyone's playing, and I think that Helio might be over in the cache corner, and if he's not, he's definitely on that mirror window, but that's a huge factor that's working against him. Yeah, he's in the cache corner, so he's not actually playing his mirror inside of Khan. They can take this if they drone it out. Right, swinging wide there. He was choked out by the gas, but he'll make it work. Axe goes down to the SMG-11 nade, forcing Helio out. Dami's gonna drop. They'll take control of Logi, but at what cost? Another swing here as Unfair takes down Spiker, and Dami goes down to Unfair, or to Helio, and Helio takes 2 more. He'll claim his kill and then claim Woods. Biblioteca take round number 3. My oh my, even with Nicolo down, everyone else is showing up. They are certainly looking convincing right now.
Wow, that's confidence on full display from Biblioteca, taking the tertiary bomb site rather handily. Again, that's 3 rounds that have looked like Biblioteca have been on top the entire time. None of these rounds we've been able to say, Arial Arise, they have the advantage. They're looking good. They can push on in. Good for them. No, it is Biblioteca just taking names right now. And I really don't know what Arial Arise have to do here. There's not one thing, at least so far, that's sticking out more than the other. They're trying to approach these objectives, I suppose, as they would normally. And clearly that approach is not working right now. We saw a couple of great nades coming in from Dami, but that was not enough to get the frags that you need on the gym and bedroom site to push on in. That site more frag heavy than most, and that is the area where Biblioteca are clearly dominant right now. 4 or 3 rounds in, going into the 4th round, we need to see an immediate change here from Arial Arise because this is their own map pick. They elected to go to Clubhouse, and they are not performing up to the Arial Arise level that we have been accustomed to seeing.
And you think, that it's just like a default attack. They're just doing what they usually do. But it's obvious that this mirror window that we've been talking about so much and kind of almost like dragging down. It's like, oh, it's just mirror on Clubhouse. Not too much. But like, it's very obvious that these mirrors are really, really helping out Biblioteca right now. And it's throwing Arial Arise for a loop because they have no idea how to work against this. I mean, mirror on Clubhouse is not a very commonly seen thing. And with a roster that is new, with, Spiker and Axe stepping in for this trio of Dami, Og, and Woods, you don't have exactly strategies developed to counter mirror windows that aren't so common like this. While you have a mirror up, usually you see these mirror windows, but even with mirror unbanned, most teams don't tend to bring her. But it's definitely a shift in pace that Arial Arise are going to have to go against soon. Although Clubhouse can be defender-sided, in most cases, it's pretty balanced.
Yeah, especially recently. This map has gone a lot more commonly in that 3-3 direction. Sure, the 4-2 defensive split is, again, very, very common, but we've seen a lot of attacking teams really get a grip on Clubhouse, and it's been impressive and honestly exciting to see. You love to see attacking teams get more success. This is a defensive-sided game at heart, but on Clubhouse especially, attacks are where you really make your difference. If you can chain a couple of strong attacks together, then to go into your defensive half with that advantage, I mean, you're setting yourself up perfectly for success. Not finding any rounds so far, not the way that you want to start out this map. Arial Arise, they are once again just sledging open this floor, establishing these vertical angles, and now they'll pivot over to pressure on this main stairs side. We're not seeing any pressure in kitchen. Not too shocked given that, that's where Dami died last time. Doesn't want to step back in. Maybe a little PTSD going on there. But you have Hibana in play. Woods is bringing those X-Kairos pellets. You need to be pressuring all of these hatches and make sure that Biblioteca cannot find comfort in any single angle. Look who's finding comfort again. It's Niccolo. He's swinging on the main stairs angle onto Spiker, who's been cut down to about 5 HP for his troubles. Finally, the Selma charges will be able to go down range and take care of that mirror window position. And now Axe will use that to run on into Moto and begin to pressure from this side as well.
Arial Arise are wasting no time getting their work cut out for themselves, but there's still 5 players alive right now, all positioned in certain areas on the map. All 10 players, they're up, but that's going to change very soon here. With 40 seconds left, an attack is going to have to form here. Axe is going to concuss one. That's unfair. Playing behind the bomb chassis. He's going to need to find this, but the opening pick goes in the way of Biblioteca. Woods takes down unfair, however, for the refrag, so they'll trade that one out. As Niccolo and Helio each gotta kill their own. It's what the heck just happened? Biblioteca simply storm around with the... I'm confused. All the crossfires there from Biblioteca simply work out. Unfortunately, Arial Arise, while they were going for that moto push and trying to get themselves inside a church, they didn't deal with anything else. And Biblioteca were just able to play around inside of blue, play inside of armory, and just hold the crosses, even with the vertical angles established by Arial Arise using the sledge. Biblioteca were playing so comfortably inside of armory. That is massive there. Arial Arise down once again. Another round, 4-0 for them.
Wow, that round was interesting. Na was able to turn the tides of that round by, get this, walking straight up the long hall in the basement. Nobody was there covering it. There wasn't somebody on the bottom of main stairs. There wasn't somebody over over in that short angle between Moto and the main stairs, there was nobody watching the long haul. Na walked right on up, found one kill, dismantling the pressure from the Moto side, only to then retreat back to Arsenal, get the kills from Blue, and really just put on a performance there. That cannot be allowed to happen if you're Arial Arise. That was a big mistake that cost you the round. You've now gone down 4 rounds in a row. And sure, it's Clubhouse. You're only going to find 2 rounds on attack in some cases, but they didn't win the tertiary objective that they need to win on attack. This is looking a lot more like a 5-1 or a 6-0 defensive performance from Biblioteca if Arial Arise do not step it up. I've always commended Arial Arise for having a really good organization that is able to just adapt to new players on the team. They showed it in the beginning of this season, bringing on, Wings and Lava, I believe, just adding to this team and really meshing well instantly. They played well. Arial Arise never fell off that pinnacle of skill that we've known them to be at when they brought on those 2 players. But the same cannot be said right now with Axe and Spiker coming on this team. We are just not seeing this cohesion that we are used to seeing.
Arial Arise are a team that rely a lot on... Oh my goodness, Dami. What a beautiful shot there. Dami gonna avenge basically everyone. He was the opening death round 1 and number 2. Well, actually, he was involved in the opening kill in the opening death round 1 number 2. But yet again, it's his time to shine. Nah Howard takes down Og. It's the exact same trade that we saw last time with Og and Nick going down. But Axe takes down Rice in the process. So the numbers are in the favor of Arial Arise. Something that we haven't seen in a very, very long period of time. Usually whenever it comes down to what happens after these opening picks, it's Arial Arise that are on the back foot, but they have the advantage, but they have the advantage also for a very short period of time. We cannot understate how much Biblioteca can just change everything in their favor. Helio is going to get burnt out of R3 here, sorry, of R2. He's going to rotate over to R90, and the Womaitis is going to save his life, and he takes down Spiker in the process. Both nades now gone for Dami. They're going to have to take the gunfight. They know exactly where Helio is. And Nob will break open firewall with the C4. And Woods goes down as a result. Axe, however, is in the site. He takes down the Rafters player. 2v2. Unfair and Nah. One player sitting inside of top red. And Nah's going down here at the bottom of the site. It's all unfair in a 1 versus 2. If there's anyone you want in this situation, it is unfair. He's got 2 more gas babes left. He can isolate gunfights, but Axe is just too good. Arial Arise, they'll take their first round. A much, much needed round there. Good attack from them. It was very, very shaky towards the beginning, but gun skill will reign supreme.
Well, the comeback, maybe it begins from Arial Arise. At least 1 round, they'll be able to rest easy that they've found something on their attacking half at the very least. But that time, it felt like we saw the confidence of Biblioteca get them down a little bit there. They took a lot of 1v1 engagements, and in that situation, Arial Arise had done a nice job of establishing those long angles and getting those crossfires established so they did not have to worry about any sort of flank or any sort of crazy swings. And I think the first round that we've seen an effective adaptation. They really focused on just waiting for Biblioteca to swing into their open arms, and after round, the confidence of Biblioteca has been growing. They've been swinging more and more. Arial Arise have realized this and brilliantly adapting, cutting down some of those players who were eager to seek those frags on defense. That strategy has been working though, so I'm not too surprised that Biblioteca tried to employ that once again, but at least in round number 5, Arial Arise, they found a way to get the better of them. A big moment there, we saw Helio caught up on Rafters. Despite getting pressured out by a handful of flashbangs and a nade, who popped right up, killed Spiker, and just kind of moved on with his day. I mean, that was an impressive moment, but at the end of the day, Helio was felled, and, the tides turned just a little bit. Arial Arise, finding their first one, they'll be certainly looking to continue that momentum as they head back to another CCTV and cash attack.
See if they can do this one again. Go for the 3, I guess it's the 2P, fortunately. Arial. But they were able to make good of what they had last time around. And even though they lost the nades, they were able to get kills off of just their gun skill alone. Dami, he's got a beautiful cutoff here. Nah thinks he's all safe and sound right now, but little does he know he has intel on him. Surveillance 24/7. And Dami, he's going to be able to predict what Nod does next. He's been spotted as well, and he's going to run over to B1 and make his way back upstairs. He'll get away safely. Unfortunate for Arial Arise, but it's a good position to force the defender out of, especially whenever you kind of want them to rotate away and not pressure you underneath. Niccolo also in a tough position. He's going to rotate down Oil Pit. He's got the garage wall open next to him as well, so definitely the move is to be careful here and try to play your life for as long as you can and delay time. That's why we've seen Nick do really, really excellent stuff where, you know, he's pressured, but he's able to make the best of it. He's able to run away with a few kills, maybe more than just 2 sometimes. Like, that's the problem. That's the problem that Arial Arise are going to have to deal with is Niccolo's always going to be lurking here, and there is no Nomad. You know, Nomad on Clubhouse, not very popular. So you're going to have to worry about that and a lot more.
Well, Arial Arise will not have to worry about the bandit tricking anymore, as Rice has been forced away, the wall has been open, but one thing they haven't yet dealt with is Niccolo, playing still in Oil Pit. He's been here for, I think, a minute and a half now, and I don't think Arial Arise know this. They're not quite in a position to have dangers of a position just yet, but as they look to force out Helio, they will soon likely approach those garage stairs, or the rafters stairs, and I don't think that's going to go too well. He'll finally strike. I believe that was a shot through the grate. Helio will join Niccolo on the swing, cutting down one more. Unfair goes nuts with the SMG-11, cuts down Spiker. Axe now, caught in a Toxic Babe. Woods caught in Helio's crossfire, going down. Axe now finds one in response, but it's a 1v4. Very little hope for Axe here. No idea exactly where to look. Biblioteca clearly confident and well-deserved. Crazy performance from them again in this round. Axe with 20 seconds left has to figure out a way to pull this one back. Doesn't have the diffuser in hand. Doesn't have, it looks like, the idea where Biblioteca are positioned, nor the eagerness to just walk on in. Just gonna let the time expire. Lines up the head of Niccolo. That's one. Nearly cuts down Na, whipping out the pistol to make it happen, but caught in a ruthless crossfire. Na gonna whip out the pistol of their own, and wow. An excellent half from Biblioteca, defying a lot of expectations here. Impressive stuff, a 5-1 half.
Very unfortunately here for Arial Arise is just the fact that they keep on getting opening picked. I mean, it's crazy. Like, they are always in positions where they are working against the tide, and just whatever they do, someone's going to swing them and they'll have no response. Even if you get a refrag, pick goes in the way of Biblioteca, and they're just controlling the pace because of all that. Like, it's crazy. Biblioteca are just completely in the driver's seat right now whenever it comes to tempo, whenever it comes to how Arial Arise were pushing. I mean, all that is just completely in the hands of this core, this old synthetic. Like, they are just running Arial Arise's pockets right now. We can see, like, however many opening deaths Arial Arise were involved with. They're involved in 4. 4 of their players died out of the 6 rounds first. Dami twice, Axe once, and Og once as well. That is insane. It just got, like, it isn't, you know, very important, but to see your nades going down twice, first of all. Second of all, the fact that Arial are just constantly finding themselves in these positions where they get opening picked. And third, it shows that Biblioteca are just in control. And it's really crazy to see, especially whenever, you know, Biblioteca are kind of this formed together roster that wasn't even supposed to be a roster. They disbanded and they didn't. Like, it's crazy, but man, Na and Niccolo seriously putting up huge numbers and getting really impactful frags for their team. In Arial Arise, they're going to be working against a 1-5, a 4-round deficit. That's going to be really tough.
It's defense. You know, they can really put on a show here. I'm not going to put it past them, but with a lackluster performance, you know, the mental game, it also comes into the mix. It's only the first game. There's only 6 rounds in, so nothing too crazy just yet. But if this gets worse and worse and Biblioteca continue to surprise Arial Arise here, I mean, in terms of expectations going into these later maps, I don't have any. I think I'd have to throw out everything I've said about this match out the window, and you kind of just have to play it by ear at this point. Seems that Unfair is playing it by ear right now, at least in terms of this bandit tricking, trying to force Dami off that angle, finally doing so, but I do think Dami's going to get back in time. I think Unfair just made the most classic blunder, putting the exothermic charge on both panels. That was, yeah, it's a free bandit trick basically for Dami. He's gonna hop right back in, and unfair, no chance that exothermic charge is gonna be able to go down. That is super unfortunate right now for Biblioteca. Some early mistakes. Great bandit tricking from Dami. Still one exothermic charge though. You still have the X-Kairos pellets, but this CCTV platform wall, it may not get opened at all.
That's a really old method of getting rid of the bandits as well. Considering that you have Niccolo and Rice, you have 3 Ash charges and 2 Zofia impacts. Like, just go downstairs. What's the point of using your nades? You basically have made your job of getting, well, if you choose to, you made your job of getting inside of rafters like 10 times harder because you simply don't have nades now. That's really difficult. But it does seem like Biblioteca aren't choosing to go rafters. They want to go for that split take, and they'll open up con wall, lickety split, no issues. But of course, it isn't a split take. It's just a con take. They don't have CC wall open. Arial Arise are free to play this entire site the way that they choose. They don't even have anyone on the windows as far as I'm aware. That is, well, actually you have Helio on the windows. My mistake. But without that wall being open, Arial Arise are able to play extremely safe woods. You've got to be careful. Don't lose your head. 5 versus 5. Arial Arise now just waiting for Biblioteca to get in, and Spiker, he'll take the first kill here on to Rice. Ash going down, not much, but here's an entry from Helio. Won't go in his way! What's a beauty of a shot there onto Na. Niccolo, however, will cover. Going for 2, but Bandit! Dami just swings in and just demolishes Niccolo. Arial Arise, a much needed round. Any round that they can get is a round much needed, much deserved. I'm really surprised that Dami just got away with that. But anyway, round number 7 going in the way of Biblioteca.
I mean, sometimes it really can come down to one piece of utility, right? I mean, that's the beauty of this game, and also sometimes the frustration of this game. We saw the bandit trick, just perfection coming out of Dami there. Unfair making probably the most classic Thermite mistake. You put down the exothermic charge on both panels instead of just one. It's a free bandit trick if Dami can just get back to the wall in time. Maybe Unfair was just banking on the fact that the nade would have been timed perfectly. Dami was too far away and really wanted the breach to be in the center of the wall. But regardless, a little bit of a mistake there from him, and excellent play from Dami to really force that entire attack to shift around to that con side. They were able to get the con wall open. Definitely good progress there despite the circumstances, but because CC was a free roam for the defense, Arial Arise, they knew exactly where the push was coming from. They could move all around the site and shut down a very one-sided push.
Yeah, and I mean, once if you can't get open that wall, it's going to be extremely difficult because all of Arial Arise can kind of just rotate around and do whatever they want to. They're not forced down into red. They're not forced to swing flat wall and give away freebies. They're just safe. They're safe to do whatever they want to. They didn't even have anyone inside a garage either. So the rotations for Arial Arise were they were so easy, and you could see it working out for Arial. I mean, I guess the backup plan that Helio had was to jump in the window, which did not go as he planned, and that kind of set off the round for Biblioteca. That kind of put them in a position where they couldn't really do much at that point, and Dami just swung in, got a 2K, denied plant, and the round was over. So, Arial Arise, definitely impressive stuff from them. Good defense. They were able to hold down pretty solid. Didn't give away any free picks. I mean, they weren't swinging anything. They were being extremely cautious with how they wanted to play that round out. And, well, to their surprise, it's a round for them. But they're going to need 3 more to try and bounce back.
Attackers need to locate.
What's actually pretty interesting is we just saw the timeout, start and now finish. But it was Unfair who called for the timeout. It's possible that a tech issue came over Biblioteca, but also I'm wondering if they just had that 1 round loss and they felt that it was a good time to regroup and talk a little bit about exactly what went wrong there and how to adapt going forward. Considering they had such an advantage, I was surprised they chose to use their timeout there, but good to see that they really want to close this match or this map out as soon as possible. They don't want to let this one go any further because they know that if Arial Arise are allowed to build that momentum, smartly enough, Arial Arise can easily make this comeback if you let them. But the aggression, maybe we'll see that increase on the attack from Biblioteca because that was one big difference in that first round. The aggression that Biblioteca were able and were eager to perform on their defensive side. We just did not see that come out on attack. It's definitely different circumstances. You don't have the same ability to set the pace, but I was surprised we actually saw as a methodical clear as we did see in that round, considering what we had seen from, specifically Na and Niccolo in the past.
They've been really powerful so far this entire game, and basically been giving Biblioteca the rounds that they want, but yeah, whenever they're dead or whenever they're not showing up, it could seem daunting here for Biblioteca. Dami nearly losing his head there inside of Logi. I'm not sure actually. Whoa! Okay, Og, slow down. He'll just take the head off of Niccolo. Wow. We were just talking about how, Niccolo, super important, super crucial. He's dead. He's gone.
Wow.
What a swing there from Og. He's definitely been silent this game so far, but to take away a huge frag, to take away that secondary entry, that duo with Na, massive, massive start here for Arial Arise. They definitely didn't lose much of any control in the process either. That swing was free. That swing was all free here for Arial.
Wow, quite a start. Definitely the way they wanted to begin, especially after such a dominant performance in the previous round here. Na looking to clear out what remains of this top floor presence, at least doing so on the Master's side. You've got Axe still on the bottom of the main stairs here, not quite falling back just yet. And I'm not sure if Na is actually aware of this. The drone did not follow them down the staircase fully, and Axe does have a C4. Oh, that could have been a big opportunity there. It could have been a double C4 kill if Axe decided to rip that one. But again, no Pulse, no Valkyrie, only the Echo, that source of information on the side of Arial Arise. Maybe Axe has a drone or two to work with, but normally we see the Mozzie used for more information denial rather than that information gain. There's two C4s, or one now, ripped by Axe. The same time, Na also detonating some vertical control with that breaching charge as well to continue the onslaught now onto this kitchen site. Helio only has 6 X-Kairos pellets remaining, still needs to get that kitchen hatch open, but the progress of Biblioteca will be furthered now as Axe is the next player to be cut down. Unfair finding that frag, and that's going to allow Na to work their way up into Moto here. Playing close on the church door. Tempting a possible swing here as only Spiker is there to contest that, playing back and forth on the black box in church. Og is there though to find one. That one onto Na. Woods responds. That one onto Unfair here, and Helio is desperate to find an answer as Arial Arise just collapse onto the objective. Dami and Woods with the last 2 kills. Arial Arise, they come out of nowhere and they shut down that push.
Dami and Woods have woken up. You've woken up the hard support of Arial Arise, and you've woken up the cracked out Pepsi man himself. I mean, this is a great start here for Arial Arise to kind of mount their comeback, and why not? 2 of their historically best performing players, well, actually all of them are pretty well known for being good performers, but Dami and Woods, we've always talked about Woods and how he's the ace smoke player, the god of ace smoke, and Dami's just the crackhead of the team. And I think that them waking up is huge for them. Absolutely huge. Because we haven't been able to see Spiker and Og put up the numbers that we expect of them. So, for any time it is for them to wake up, it's now. But can't call it just yet. We have a tertiary bomb site hold. And usually, it's tertiary for a reason. They're going to be bringing a bandit without a castle as well. So things could get really difficult. We'll have to see as Arial Arise. Right now is not the time to stop whenever it comes to momentum. If they lose one round, they'll be on match point, and it'll be tragic for their momentum and for their motions. So we'll have to see what Arial Arise can make of this round. This is probably the most important round of the entire game right here. If Arial Arise can take this one, they'll start to push their comeback and basically push Biblioteca to the limits. But Biblioteca take this round, I mean, Arial Arise's challenge, it doesn't get any easier from here. It'll look unwinnable for quite a long time, but we'll have to see. Arial aren't dead in the water yet. We've seen a lot of life in them. 2 very convincing rounds where they weren't opening death, but opening kills twice. Spiker got his opening kill onto Rice and Og onto Niccolo. So really, really good showing here for Arial Arise on this defensive half, and that is tragic.
Oh my goodness.
That's not what we were talking about. That was not the Arial Arise that we were thinking of.
How do you make that mistake?
I was gonna say, in what world does that happen?
That's the first thing you do. Is it not? I mean, you go to gym and bedroom,
man.
you run to the jacuzzi wall, and you reinforce that. I mean, That is a mind-boggling mistake from Arial Arise. It's going to cost Axe their life, and that is your top frag gone. The player you really want on a frag-heavy objective like Gym and Bedroom. Huge mistake. And that's given Biblioteca the option to just open up the jacuzzi wall for free, only using a Zofia impact to get the job done. And they've got a quick little entry point if they're looking to use this. The aggression that we talked about, the utility and the patience of Arial Arise has been what stopped that aggression on the Biblioteca attacking half, but that can't be the case anymore. At least Spiker on the Frost, which is always interesting to see, will line up the head of Rice and will be starting to bring this one back, but we can see Woods now being pressured from all sides. Nicolo eager to get these early challenges, just persistent on these gunfights, refusing to release this angle here. Actually surprised we haven't seen someone rotate around to the gym window, because this would be a pretty easy kill on Woods if you toss a couple of people on these window sides or even on the south side at all. But right now it's just, oh, there it is. Finally, Helio goes around as requested, and he will collect that kill onto Woods. So your smoke has now been shut down on the Toxic Babes, and the time waste they allow will not be a factor. Apparently the aim of Dami will not be a factor in this round either, missing about 150 bullets onto Helio outside the CCTV window. Spiker, though, gets one, now gets two, a triple kill on the round. One more player in his line of sight. He'll swing, he'll pre-fire, but misses. Oh no, the pistol from Nah! How does that happen again? Helio now runs on in to change something up here, a 2v2. But look who's here! It's Og! He's swinging, and he lines up two! Arial Arise, they take round number 9, the most bizarre round we've seen so far.
Give it a double kill for Og and a triple kill from Spiker, and you've got a recipe for disaster for Biblioteca, who had Jacuzzi Wall not only open, but also a bullet through Axe's skull early on, and a smoke dead as well. You should not have won that round. But Spiker, I mean, he's insane. I literally said how Og and Spiker need to wake up. Well, there it is. All 5 players have been activated on Arial Arise. You can thank me later. 4-5. We're seeing the comeback happen here for Arial. If there's one way to start out this series, it's a highly contested Clubhouse. I'm excited already. This is gonna be quite the cage match between both of these teams. But yeah, Biblioteca, they aren't looking up to form on these attacks so far. No matter what advantage they're given, especially with that opening pick very early on to Axe, onto that C4, and onto, you know, the best player currently showing on Arial Arise. And you still lost the round because Spiker is insane. He graduated from the school of JJ Blast, and he's looking to prove himself here with Arial. What a way to open up his scoreboard debut. Really good stuff. But Arial Arise, they still got a lot of work to do here. We can't count them out just yet. We talked about how last round, super important for the lifeline of Arial Arise. Now's the time for them to put the hammer in the coffin, or the nail in the coffin, and just simply come back. We'll have to see if that's going to happen. However, round number 10 dawns upon us with a CC hold here. It's going to look really aggressive on that basement side, or on that bottom side there by Lounge. Make sure to keep your eye there.
Alrighty, Biblioteca, they took a flawless rotation when they were on defense, and, well, they just fell victim to the same flawless rotation on their attack. They'll be looking to change something up here. The basement is where they're gonna start things off. And, well, or rather the top floor, sorry. The basement is where they're gonna enter the building, clearing out to make sure they're not gonna have to deal with any sort of roam that's gonna come in the form of both Spiker and Og. Spiker once again holding down Lounge to allow Dami to continue to bandit trick for as long as possible, assisted by Og, who will of course be holding down Stock to prevent any sort of run-in that will eventually pressure Lounge, which will eventually pressure the floor of CCTV. That's why I love to see active bandit tricking, because it adds so many elements to a round. It forces attackers to go through a couple of extra steps, and we saw what happens just the last time we were here when attacking teams skip those steps. You can't get the bandit off the wall. You're going to lose an exothermic charge in the process, but in this case, you're going to lose Spiker very early on in this round, but caught reloading. Helio getting swung by Og, trading it out. Arial Arise, 44.
Do they even know that they have diffuser? I don't think they do. It's a pretty aggressive position to hold. It's a lot to ask for to try and keep the case away from Biblioteca in that position, but it is a stall of time. Biblioteca still working, however, getting open the CC wall, and oh my goodness. Is Nicolo a mind reader? Does Niccolo know something that we don't? Is he running the Luscious Special? What is he doing? How does he know? Og is just sitting in the most obscure position ever. He's not even gonna know what hit him if Niccolo holds this, but no. Doesn't hold it for too long. This was about to be a tragedy for Arial Arise if they have lost their Jaeger, but he's still alive, and we have to watch for that. We have to watch for that Jaeger flank. He's got so many options to work with, and with only 50 seconds left, the pressure's going to start to work together. Rice is none the wiser. Rice has no idea, nor does Og. They're right above each other, and Rice is going to get away with that. Niccolo as well takes down Axe. Oh no, Og. Such a huge play that he had in his back pocket, and Woods goes down as well. Dami. He's in a 1 versus 4. Dami's going for the Saving Private Ryan. However, he might be able to recover Woods, and he will. 2 versus 4 now. Biblioteca. With Woods alive, he's able to toss those gases, and that's simply something that Biblioteca are going to have to push through. C4's up for denial here for Dami. It's just if he can time this properly, but Nah downs him. Woods is the last remaining player here for Arial Arise. Dami is simply not recoverable in the position that he's in. Give it to Nah. Biblioteca. They'll take round number 10. They'll take match point. All the momentum that we thought we saw here for Arial Arise is starting to work against them. It's going to be match point.
Well, we did say that was the most pivotal round we've seen so far, and the chance that Biblioteca had to recover some of that momentum. They did it. Excellent job there. Huge heads-up play for Nah to just pre-fire through the soft wall, knowing that the really only option they had in terms of plant denial was Dami, just throwing that C4 up over that server rack and connecting with the planter. Excellent denial from that. Nah, heads-up play, getting those last 2 kills. Huge for Biblioteca. It was already a 4v2. It was already unlikely that Arial Arise were going to win out that round, but Nah's play definitely secured it. So now it's match point, and the map that Arial Arise elected to attend here in this first quarterfinal of the night is not going in their way. Sitting down 2 rounds, match point. They're going to head downstairs to look to pull something out here. Last time, this was dominance. They really had a strong performance on this round, and I'd argue because Biblioteca really took their attack slowly. Now, Arial Arise are once again setting up to force Biblioteca into that slow attack. This isn't a full SSG style roam, but you do have the mute and the Mozzie combination, that information denial combo that is going to exist on that top floor. You combine that with some reinforcements, and you're just looking to slow Biblioteca down as much as possible. If you recall, last time we were on the basement site, it was Og who just started to swing a couple of times outside the CCTV window and actually found a huge impact frag onto Niccolo, removing the Zofia, removing one of their big star fraggers. But with both Niccolo and Nah both hitting double digits now in this lobby, Arial Arise have more than just one big fragger to worry about.
Definitely 2 players that we didn't really expect to show up here. You know, we kind of saw the names being brought out by Arial Arise, and it's like, oh, yeah, Woods, yeah, Og, Axe, Dami, Spiker. I mean, basically the T3 All-Stars team. And then it's Biblioteca in the dominant seat whenever it comes to those frags. Niccolo running up the leaderboard. Can't forget about Helio as well. Really massive stuff here. Niccolo, he's got Og right where he wants him. As well as 2. He's actually got 2 in his cross sights. Niccolo, he's going to get away with the freebie onto Dami. Woods, however, the beautiful C4 might have just saved the life of Og. Dami going down, however, it's not an even trade. Niccolo's dead in the water. A C4 literally kept Og alive. And most importantly, Biblioteca, they still have to maintain this upstairs control. Og is still roaming with this Legion. He's gonna have to be extremely careful with how he plays this. Helio takes him down, however, and thank God for Helio winning that gunfight. Had he not won that, it could have been a hard breach. You're dead!
Oh,
give him 2
wow.
as well! Woods looks for the refrag, but only ends up dead as well. Axe, however, takes down Unfair. Spiker as well might be pushing up for a kill, but they're just feeding to Helio. Helio takes down his 3rd kill. He's woken up as well. It's double digits for him. Axe is left in a 1 versus 3 to keep Arial Arise in this game. He's got so much to work against, but it's freaking Axe. I mean, if there's anyone that can do it, it's him. He's working his way up secret. Knows he's possibly got someone sitting inside or near bar. Axel gets spotted out, however, his flank cut off. He's gonna have to move his way out. Retake that bottom floor. He'll take down Nah. Double kill for him. Now he's just got a 1 versus 2. Helio on for 4. And Biblioteca take round number 11. They take Clubhouse. What a stunning performance from not only non-Nicolo. Give it to Helio as well. Incredible stuff from him.
Wow, what a round to end it. Helio just going massive, getting the 4K. And, well, the strategy that I highlighted, Arial Arise were bringing out the slow down Biblioteca as much as possible. It quickly turned into a try to hold control of the top floor as long as possible. And those two things are not the same. Arial Arise making pretty textbook mistakes there. Things that you really are not going to expect to see in a matchup of this caliber. Just forcing the roam, really overstaying their welcome. Og paying the price. Woods, who came to support Og, also paying the price. Helio finding both of them. Just some kind of mistakes that you cannot be making against a team like Biblioteca, who clearly has shown they have quite a bit of fragging power, not only with the new player we've highlighted, Nicolo, but in Na and Helio as well. Incredible stuff all around, and in a match riddled by mistakes so far, it has been fascinating to watch, and it has been back and forth. But both of these teams, definitely some things to clean up going into map number 2.
Yeah, we saw a lot of fragging power. Jeez, I mean, Max, what just happened?
But no, Adam, let's talk about that raw fragging power, right? Because we saw, and this was a really interesting play, and if you want to check it out for yourselves on SCS underscore esports on Twitter, make sure you do so, because Nicolo getting that penetration shot against Axe inside of Jacuzzi wall. Walk us through that, Adam. What exactly happened? Why was the wall soft?
Check his moss.
Well, the moss isn't going to stop that wall from not being reinforced.
That one was rough. That usually never happens. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. So,
I'm not really sure. Jay-Z, what exactly happened with that play?
That one is one of those you just can't explain. That was a situation where there's no reason that mistake should have happened. I mean, none. That's one of the... I mean, silver players, bronze players, they know that's the first thing they do. Maybe it's the only thing they do, but the difference here is that Arial Arise, they never got around to it. And sure, that wasn't the make or break point in the entire series, and they actually ended up winning that round, I'll remind you, but still, that kind of mentality, just a couple of things getting a little bit overlooked, and that was kind of the overall storyline of the map, really. And I think that's a lot of reason why we're surprised. And everyone predicted Arial Arise to win this one, and this is not what we expected to see, honestly.
Absolutely. 80-20 on the community polls in the favor of Arial Arise. But speaking of those textbook plays, let's look at the actual stats themselves and see exactly how it was all broken down on a map that we all thought that Arial Arise would win. Now, keep in mind, at most, there are 2 more maps to be played for this series tonight. But if you're a fan or if you're on at Biblioteca, you may only need to see 1 more before it all goes down. But look at that. A 1.50 rating. Jay-Z, walk us through that. How did he end up so high?
I mean, it's Nah. I mean, he was just insane. I mean, the combination of Nah's fragging power and a 90% cost there, you add Nicolo into the mix, who also went huge. Helio, with that last round performance, jumping up massively in rating, going +4 in the overall kill-death ratio. I mean, that kind of fragging potential, I mean, it's why the map, there were rounds that were often so one-sided. Just look at the middle of your screen there. How many diffuser case symbols do you see? You're right, none. The plant never, ever went down. It was a frag fest. The plant was barely ever attempted. That is how frag-focused this match was. And on Clubhouse, on a map that's generally more strat-forward than frag-forward, it was a surprise to see. Clearly catching Arial Arise off guard there, and, well, it worked.
Well, luckily for us, though, there is a little bit more time for Arial Arise to prep up for map number 2, coming up in only a few minutes. We're going to be going to a small break, getting things fine-tuned at our end, but when we come back, we can see maybe a redemption game, or we may have an early series tonight. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to the quarterfinals of Season 5 of SCS. My name is Keg, and I'm joined by the amazing Jasmine and James Wills. We saw a very interesting map number 1 of Clubhouse going to the favor of X-Synthetic, known as Biblioteca, and Arial Arise, a T3 dominant force, not being so dominant of a force in map number 1. But Adam, walk us through one of the most known maps of all time in Siege, Oregon. Going to be played for map number 2. Does this mean it can go in Arial Rise's favor?
I mean, who knows? You know, I think for Arial right now, default map is exactly what they want. Their Clubhouse didn't go the way that they expected. The mirror definitely caught them off guard, and I think that's something that's going to be playing a big role in what's going to happen if the mirror is banned or not.
And Jays Wills, we're going to be going to the match in only a few seconds. Let us know what you think right away. What's going to happen?
I wish I knew. I really did. You know, there were a lot of things. There were a lot of things that surprised us. I mean, that's what has made this series so fun to watch, is that there are surprising elements within each round and between the rounds. I mean, this is amazing to watch. It sure isn't the prettiest high caliber siege that we're normally seeing between two teams like this, but I mean, this is what you're here for. It's playoffs, it's quarterfinals, the stakes are high, and these teams are sweating it out. Even these couple of mistakes are making these games so much more interesting.
Well, I'm not going to let you two wait any much longer. The gates are open now. We're going to see exactly who takes map number 2 and maybe see map number 3. Arial Rise versus Biblioteca. Go for it! Let's see what happens on Oregon.
Alrighty. Adam, what do you think about this one? I mean, Oregon, it's a lot like Clubhouse, right? We see this map all the time. It's a lot of horizontal play, just like Clubhouse is. What do you think Arial Rise need to do here, really, to bring this one back?
Watch out for Nicholo and Nah and Helio. Nicholo especially, because Nicholo on defense is going to play these crazy wacky power positions, swing whatever he can, and frustrate Arial Rise. But with Arial on defense, you have to wonder what they can work against Biblioteca. They need that early lead, man. Absolutely need it. No, I think we're going to be seeing a Cade ban probably from Biblioteca. Absolutely need to get rid of that. And might be seeing some Maverick. We kind of discussed early on, you know, just like Clubhouse, Oregon can be a very strong map for Maverick, and seeing him being brought out can counter just about anyone. And we're going to be seeing a Valkyrie ban. That's... Okay, so Valkyrie, I mean, in and of itself, not, you know, too much of a unstandard ban, but they've left Mira up, they've left Cade up, and they're going to have to ban one of the two, and it's going to be Mira. Cade is up, and they're going to have to use... they're going to have to use Maverick for everything now. Biblioteca absolutely need to use Maverick for everything. Make sure they can get rid of those walls and use the nades to their potential. We haven't been seeing too many, stunning nades plays, a kill or two here or there. So we're going to have to hope that that changes for the attacking side.
Well, I really like the Valkyrie ban coming out from Biblioteca, not because I don't like to see Valkyrie in play. It's great to see those cameras using that information focus, but what it does is it puts Arial Rise into a little bit of a corner. It forces them to pick between the lesser of two evils. They knew that these teams likely want to remove the Kaid from play. You don't want to have to deal with those Electro Claws, but knowing how powerful Mira can be and knowing how well that Biblioteca used the Mira in that first map, I think Biblioteca, they knew that Arial Rise had to pick between the Kaid and the Mira, and so why not just force them to do one of those instead of allowing them to take both off the table like they definitely would have preferred. Going with that Mira ban, Arial Rise are not looking to have the same issues that they ran into on Clubhouse.
Yeah, Arial Rise, the thing about them is that they're quick to adapt, but with this being brought out here, this defensive lineup can be really strong with a Valkyrie. So I agree. The Valkyrie ban definitely really, really helpful. So long as Biblioteca don't, push too hard into this, like, that's a good ban. That's a really good ban. And Neo, sorry, I saw Spike's tag, and Arial, they're going to have to work with what they got. We saw their C4s, they kind of came out in Clubhouse. They weren't 1,000% accurate, to say the least, but then we definitely saw them early game. They got rid of Dami round 1. And that's the kind of thing that can really push the boundaries of your attack. If you just get that one operator off the board, even if it's a lucky C4, you just get that one operator that you want off the board. I mean, it's huge. But more interesting on the side of Biblioteca, we're seeing an Iana, very powerful operator. That's not the interesting part. What's more interesting is that they're not bringing a Maverick. They're going to be relying on Iana for the nades instead, not going to be going for the Maverick blowtorch. And they're just going to hope and pray that Arial don't bring Cade. So it's a tough bet, but they aren't bringing it this time, so they're safe.
Interesting, though. Knowing that the team has to play Maverick to counter the Cade, which is on the board, and then not choosing to bring the Electro Claws. It's a bizarre choice, especially on the basement site when those hatches can really make or break a certain execute, especially on that pillar side. You really want to get that E-box hatch opened, but it seems that instead of relying on that heavy anchor presence, we are going to see a little bit of a roam coming out from this Arial Arise defense. They've got a little bit set up over in kitchen and in security, just locking down that side, and once again playing that similar strategy that we emphasized they were attempting to bring out on Clubhouse, that delay strategy, hoping that they can stall out the Biblioteca aggression for as long as possible. I think, do we have a player in T3 right now on the side of Arial Arise? Yes, we do. It is Og going for the rat in a corner, leave his team alone on the site, but also the potential high-risk, high-reward kind of play. If you don't get noticed, you could really get a strong flank, especially if a north-sided pillar take is what Biblioteca are looking to bring.
You don't know how challenging and how daunting a player can be inside of T3 until it actually happens and you actually have to push it. Because in most cases, most teams have resulted in Oregon to a tower stairs push. It's the most effective way of just clearing out pillars. But speaking of clearing out, nah, it's going to be the opening death here. We usually see him putting numbers on the board, but today is not that day. It's going to be Axe instead to get away with a crucial pick here. Just any pick in general that they can work with is great, and take down Dami as well. Or sorry, take down Rice as well. Dami takes down the nades. What a start here from Arial Arise. It doesn't even need to be said. You've lost grenades. That's huge. And you've also lost 2 players. You can basically count this round by the numbers. It's a 5 versus 3. Arial Arise are very handedly in the favor right now, and they're just going to have to sort of just wait for all of the rest of Biblioteca to make their push happen, because it seems like they're going to waste no time getting rid of Og inside of T3, who will surely rotate back down pretty soon and start to join Arial Arise in this 4-man so far anchor that they have established.
Well, the pressure from Biblioteca now still pressuring from a little bit of everywhere. Unfair creeping up into Freezer, but a shotgun. No, it's the SMG-11 from Spiker to greet him. A nice headshot there to end the life of Unfair. And Nicolo and Helio are all that remains. Nicolo pressuring from this laundry side. Helio, at least until a moment ago, was looking towards that security hatch and pressuring from there, since dropping down, frying woods on the long angle from that freezer box. But now more players to contend with, and Spiker wins out that engagement. Axe finds Nicolo over on that laundry side, and Arial Arise, they'll take round 1.
It was really odd seeing where those opening kills happened at the very beginning of the round, both from Dami and from Axe. Because to be honest, they kind of happened in really obscure corners of the map. We didn't see them too much, and they were just dead in the water. So it's very obvious that Arial Arise probably swung up, and Biblioteca were just greeted with a hellfire of bullets that they weren't ready for. So, really, really well-rounded start here for Arial Arise on this defense. It's very obvious that we have a pattern for the series so far, and that is very, very defender-sided. But we'll have to see if Arial can continue their success, as, you know, the momentum. Usually momentum is not just an imaginary thing. It actually happens. And we saw it from Arial Arise. They had momentum on Clubhouse, and then as soon as they lost one round, the momentum faded away. Arial do need to hold on to the mental. Again, it's like it's not a fictional thing. Just because, you know, we don't talk, you know, as a caster, the only time that you're ever going to hear about momentum is probably from us, kind of bashing it. It's an easy word. It's a blanket word, and we're sorry if we're very annoying for it. But it's the truth. Momentum is a real thing. It really does play against teams. And, well, Arial Arise, they need to keep it up.
First round is a good start, but as we saw in the last one, you know, Biblioteca, they come out really strong. It was the attacking half where they struggled, and thankfully for Arial Arise, on Biblioteca's map pick, they get to elect the defensive side, so they get to force Biblioteca into what looks like an uncomfortable position for them. It's been a very defensive-sided match so far, and at least in round number 1, that rule will stay the same. We're going to head upstairs, though, to kids' dorms now, and we'll see exactly how Biblioteca choose to answer this. Now, the pretty typical approach that you can see on this objective is you get your 2-pronged entry point onto that main dorms room, the gaming room objective. You're going to pressure from attic. You're going to pressure from that master, that closet wall, and you're going to establish your crossfire from there. It looks like Biblioteca, they are running through that pretty default checklist. You've got Rice going over, working with Helio towards that tower side. Unfair, the player to focus on this master wall. Niccolo, the soft destruction to join Rice over on that north side to maybe deny any sort of mute jammers over there if they want to get more intel. And now we'll be using this breaching round over on the ceiling of classroom to deal with the mute jammer in that position as well. The mute jammer having been destroyed, that'll enable Unfair to use those X-Kairos pellets, open up the wall, and they'll have this nice angle right in the middle of games room to cut off all of these rotations from Arial Arise. Dami taking quite a bit of damage early on here, not nearly spotting out the head of Og, but only getting a couple of shoulder shots on the player playing in attic, or pit, as it's more aptly known. The corner position that Og is now holding from kids instead.
Good start here for Arial Arise, able to get open that closet wall, and you know, it's kind of the little things. That's definitely a big one. The Maverick being brought out by Rice also going to force Niccolo into a position where he can sort of push down, like you said, this pit area. So with both the wall and the attic control established, amazing start from Biblioteca. But as we've seen more commonly, the entirety of the pit wall is soft and it's open from underneath. That's a very common strategy that we're seeing from now, and that's a really, really aggressive way to contest pit. But it's also, you know, it works two ways, so you have to be really careful with how you play your cover. You have two SMG-11s holding it, so the recoil can come into effect. The fact that you only have 17 bullets. And Helio. Oh, Helio just takes Spiker down for the opening pick. Give him two!
Where's the
call's
call?
too late! And Axe takes down... Oh, Dami with two C4 kills, though. He'll retrieve the round, and Axe onto Rice as well. And Dami with three! Stunning here from Dami off of Pepsi. Niccolo is in a 1 versus 3. He'll take down Axe. 2 versus 1 for Niccolo. If there's anyone that can do it, it's him. He's got a player inside of dorms to deal with here. Ring around the rosy goes Woods. He takes down the second kill. Niccolo has to go for this. He'll chase Dami! Oh my goodness! Niccolo! Put some respect on this man's name. He'll claim a round that's oh so crucial. A round that he absolutely should not have won.
What just happened? Oh my goodness. That was... It was early dominance from Biblioteca, excellent play from Helio on the sneaky play and security and white stairs, and then Dami single-handedly pull Arial Arise back into it, double C4 kill, a nice flick down in security, 3 kills to Dami's name, and, well, Niccolo answers back with 3 kills of his own. Incredible stuff. What, just pushing into attic, taking control of kids, frying 1, getting the second, and then Dami made a critical mistake, eager to find the 4th kill, so pushing up the white stairs, took a gunfight, immediately realized that was a very poor decision. We all saw how the blue outline of Dami immediately turned around, sprinted down the white stairs, but he knew that Niccolo would be close behind, had to turn around, get that gun up, have a 50-50 shot at winning it. But against Niccolo, that is never going to be a 50-50 shot. Niccolo is rolling on through, both players on 1 shot worth of HP at that point, but Niccolo is still able to win that out. Incredible stuff from Biblioteca to pull that round back. Another back and forth round, and only in round number 2, I think we're in for quite a map here on Oregon.
Yeah, that was insane. Dami with a 3K spawns from Niccolo. I think Niccolo's proven himself. I think it's very safe to say that. What a stunning performance from both these players, and it goes to show what kind of game this is going to be. It's going to come down to all the aggressive gunfight, all the bloodshed that you love to see. This is going to be quite a game. But a report here, an insider report from me, the case study here. Wow, oh, no, almost takes on Og. Axe was not very happy about that wall not being reinforced. He DM'd me and he just said he was upset. so this isn't... It's a mental game, man. Siege is a mental game, but Arial Arise, they're not on the back foot just yet. They had a very convincing round, but it just came down to a clutch. And, you know, those things happen. So we'll have to see if Arial Arise can make the best out of it. They're going to be going upstairs yet again. And Arial, I mean, honestly, I think that they are looking the strongest out of both of these teams. Biblioteca definitely look on the weaker end, at least on what we saw last round. But man, oh man, cannot discount that Niccolo clutch. But Arial Arise. We'll have to see what they can do here. They absolutely need this defense. It's a very defender-sided game, and Helio, he's been playing this lurking position. Domi's walking down Z, and Helio rips his head straight off. What a way to start with an advantage for Biblioteca.
Yeah, we're seeing a very heavy bottom floor hold here, well, from both Dami and Og, or Dami and Spiker rather, until just a moment ago, where Dami got his head taken right off. Spiker now the last remaining player on this vertical extension, and still refusing to leave Meeting Hall right now. Just still backing off, maybe further towards that tower side, but Niccolo is also there to greet him. So Spiker could be caught in a very uncomfortable position, especially now that Niccolo's going to drone this out and identify his position. You've got the yellow pings, you've got Helio pushing in on the cross, you've got Niccolo playing above, and, well, Spiker may actually be able to escape. Yes, he's going to make his way through kitchen, rotate around, but Na is here to try to find this one. Missing a couple of shots, though. Na now cut down to 1 HP. Spiker wasting a ton of time. This is excellent play. Looking away at the wrong moment. Now also 1 HP. Helio looking to finish this one off, but 25 seconds are all that remains. Unfair and Rice will line up too, though. Finally, Spiker is gone out of this round, but with 15 seconds left, Biblioteca, they've got to send this one in. You still have Axe on the site. He'll fry one, but Rice gets another. That one onto Axe. It's all up to Og. He'll collect one. Now will get killed by the Vulcan shield, but Helio is there to make sure Biblioteca secure that round, dominant the entire way, and they'll take round 3.
Really impressive stuff there from Biblioteca. Off the rip, we kind of saw that this was going to be a round that they could have in their control, and what a way to start out here. I mean, if they need any half, it's the attacking half. To get as many rounds as you can on this attacking half, given what we saw on Clubhouse, which is just completely defender-sided, it's huge. It's absolutely massive. Now, of course, you know, the difference between Clubhouse now and Oregon is that you have a Maverick up and a Cade also up. But we're not seeing the Cade being brought. You have to wonder if that's just out of the fact they know that the wall is going to get opened and they want to play around that instead of playing around how much they can keep the wall shut. It's kind of one of those, it's a weird mindset that a lot of players have. That's just like, oh, you know, keep the wall reinforced, but, you know, we don't have to put anything on. It's going to get opened anyway. It's a weird mindset, but I mean, it's true. With the lineup that they have, a Habana and a Maverick, most walls are going to be getting opened. You have burn utility, and you have nades. Like, there's nothing really stopping you from opening a wall, and Arial Arise are trying to focus their utility elsewhere, but it's just not working. They're playing very spread apart. They're kind of getting opening picked in places that they, realistically speaking, should not be opening picked. I mean, Helio kills Dami walking down Z. I don't know if that's a call issue. I don't know if Helio just kind of like crouch walked in and the Malusi playing inside of Meeting had no clue. If that's the case, it's an innocent mistake, but still, I mean, it's the little things.
Well, it's not the first communication issue that we've seen apparent from Arial Arise. So, I mean, it totally could be that. We've seen them struggle with that already just on this map alone. I mean, and on the first map as well, but those mistakes have not gone away here. And, well, this one could be interesting. You've got, no way. Axe lines one, Og the second. How did that work out? Axe is playing in the pretty much the die here kind of position, stall as much time out as you can and just sit in this corner, but finding the opening pick and Na and Helio are both gone, this kind of strategy, well, it's worked out so far. Axe still eager to swing, so is Spiker using that Alda perfectly. Rice says goodbye in this round as well. Within 50 seconds, 3 Biblioteca attackers are gone. It's only Unfair and Niccolo to pull this one back against 5.
Good kill there, onto Axe. They're going to need to work with a lot more. Arial Arise have opened up the site quite a bit, and that's going to force Biblioteca in a position where they are always challenging people. It's really aggressive and it's really risky, but it's definitely working out for Arial, as you can see by the current man count. It was a blink and you'll miss it moment. I literally went down to write my notes, and it was a 5 versus 2. So, yeah, be careful. Yeah, but Arial Arise, I mean, we can say that they're convincingly gonna win this round, but at the same time, I mean, we talked about those communication issues. It's a brand new team. and Arial Arise in general. Their core just kind of plays out, spread apart. Biblioteca can take 2v1 gunfights and kind of isolate those ones and really make things work, but with Spiker above, that is a huge factor. If Biblioteca want to win this clutch, I mean, Spiker is going to be a huge thorn in their side, and you can see Unfair is literally walking right into the exact holes that Spiker... I mean, you literally couldn't have asked for an easier kill. The barbed wire is giving him away. There it is. Spiker takes down Unfair. Well, it's Nicolo. 1-on-1 versus 3, but give him one more player to deal with. Here, he'll take down Og. He's got 45 seconds. He actually might be able to win this out, and it might be the greatest clutch of his T3 career so far if he's able to make this one work. Gas is going to push him out, however. He's got breaching charges, so he can make his entrance elsewhere. He'll push down this hallway, the shower hallway, but he's very well known. His location is aware of to all the defenders. And Arial Arise. You can only hope for a few clutches out of Nicolo. It'll be Dami to claim that kill. And a 2-even split now.
I think the turning point of Oregon has yet to come here. We're still going back and forth in these rounds, and I'm trying to think of, if we're sitting at a 3-3 half, how does one approach that? At least from a mindset of which team came out on top. And I really think that a 3-3 split here will hugely favor Biblioteca. We saw how defensive-sided Clubhouse was, just because we saw how aggressive Biblioteca were on their defense. We're kind of seeing that same approach from Arial Arise. They're not just playing on the bomb sites right now. They're playing really extended and taking a lot of early engagements. And it's working out to some extent, but Biblioteca have also been able to find a good bit of success. I mean, 2 rounds here is a pretty solid place to be. And even if they can't get any more, I think that's when this would be more even footing. But just in the way that this whole match has progressed so far, it does seem like Biblioteca are going to be terrifying to come up against when they get onto the defensive half. So if they can emerge from this just even 50-50, I think they would consider that a victory. And Arial Arise would be put in another uncomfortable position here. We're going to head back downstairs, though, so the only position we're going to see now is exactly what kind of setup we see in kitchen and security this time. Oh God, how heavy of a hold are we going to see on this side? It appears that we're not going to see a team kill, although we almost just witnessed one. It will be all 5 members of Arial Arise eager to lock this down, but we might have a little bit of a rush attempt here from Biblioteca.
Unfair is literally just hugging this, and it is going to be a rush. Look at Arial Arise. There's not a single player on site, but Dami has the holes above. Helio will take down Axe, however, that's the opening pick. Woods is certainly still inside the site. Not Spiker will take down Nicolo. This isn't going the way that Biblioteca expected. Arial Arise are playing this retake strategy to a T right now. Nicolo and Nah, 2 of your top performers from last map, are now dead in the water. Og, he'll get swung by Helio. Beautiful shot here from the flank watch player. And he'll take down Og, clear out tower in the process as well. Biblioteca are still going to try and hammer away at this while they have an even man count. They want to just try and swing and get kills, but you still have Dami above. You absolutely have to watch out for Dami. He is in a position where he can win literally the entire round from E-Box Hatch if he isn't pushed out of that. But Biblioteca kind of just speed running this bunker take. They made it happen in 1 minute rather than 2. And Helio, man, performance from him right now is crazy. He'll burn an ADS. Don't know if he wanted to do that, considering he has flashbangs. But swing from Spiker. What an aggressive position there. Played from Spiker. A double kill for him. Woods takes down Unfair, and it's just Helio in a 1 versus 3. It's always clutch situations from Biblioteca. It's the 3rd clutch situation that they've been in this entire game, and now Helio is pushing against the clock. Pushing against the tide. Not even against the clock. He has so much time, but seconds can feel like minutes. Here comes Helio. He's got a crossfire established not only from Freezer, but also from Bunker. Swing out here, and it's going to be his demise. A 2nd kill from Woods. And Arial Arise, they'll shut down the rush strategy there from the entire X-Synthetic roster. It simply did not work out there. Dami was playing such a good position from that hatch, and once he got that kill, it was kind of like, this might not work the way that we all expected it to.
Yeah, that one felt like a rush that was called not during the prep phase, but before the round even started. And considering the circumstances, it's not a bad read from Biblioteca because every single defense so far, Arial Arise have played a very extended hold. On the basement site, they set up in kitchen and in security and in dining and in meeting. On the top floor, they also set up the same hold, but over in classroom and in split of meeting as well. Knowing that, Biblioteca approached that round saying, you know what, we can expect a extended roam. Let's send it in through blue bunker. Let's just push on into site and take control, win these early gunfights. And if that was the only information they had the chance to operate off of, I think it's a fair decision. But when you make a rush attempt like that, you need to make it in the circumstances of the prep phase. What are you seeing on that defensive setup that is telling you it is okay to rush? Because had they known that Dami was holding a very strategic angle from that meeting hall hatch, I don't know if they would have gone through that, or at the very least, they would have made sure to apply pressure maybe from that to the tower stairs side onto meeting hall to push Dami off of that angle. Because once that first kill happened, like you said, Adam, I mean, that is really when the push collapsed because they didn't know it was there. It was one element that they were not quite comfortable dealing with, and once that early decisive push kind of fell away, the element of surprise is lost. The speed of the attack and the whole point of the rush attempt there, it's been thrown out the window. Biblioteca, they definitely got caught up in that pre-round phase, and they did not quite identify exactly what they needed to in order to make the fully informed decision to actually go for that rush.
I mean, you know, whenever you saw, like, Arial Arise in their positions, it's like, oh, yeah, maybe this rush strategy will work out. Little do they know that literally everything was open, including E-Box, and thing was working against them. Honestly, I'm really surprised. Every time I see a retake strategy, it's always a crash and burn sort of thing. Doesn't work out. But honestly, it worked perfectly. Helio. You know something we don't, man. But he almost got that opening pick. He's just going to watch his flanks. Doesn't want to get too aggressive. And that's honestly the smarter move. Axe has lost a lot of HP. I think that was over from the game's window. Really, really not the start that you want here, but seen Biblioteca do this twice before. And Niccolo, I mean, geez, oh my, this man is insane. He'll take down Axe, who was already on very low HP. Don't draw another circle, Bryce, I beg you. All right, chill. But, that was,
Nice.
that was quite the start there from Biblioteca. I mean, we usually see them get this fast entry into closet pretty well, but now to tack on an opening frag as well?
Bomb has been located.
Biblioteca look absolutely on top of things whenever it comes to this round.
Nah, still holding this position on the game's window, just refusing to budge for now. Knows exactly what they're dealing with. They've got the Aruni in play. They've got those laser gates standing between them and the objective. And you also have Dami, who's still holding down the top of white stairs here. A nice long angle to that trophy door where, at least for now, nobody on the attacking side is pressuring. You still have Unfair on that master balc. Nah, outside the main lobby. Helio below in garage. These last two players, I think they're working their way up from that attic side. At least they should be. Over on that north approach, yes. Rice now pressuring Kid's window. Niccolo pushing up into pit. Actually completely uncontested now. Nobody holding this angle. Rice, the perfect nade. Woods gets vaporized and the Kid's presence is gone. Spiker, though, continuing to apply pressure from dorms, will cut down Helio, but this looks familiar. Niccolo just creeping on through. I'm not sure if anybody is aware of this, but now with the man advantage switching sides, Niccolo and Na forced to pull something back. Not outside the big window, but a Banshee awaits him as he pushes on through. A C4 actually destroys the Banshee. Na gets a free kill onto Og. Now it's a 2v2. Both players off the bomb site. They're stuck in white stairs. Na pushes up, gets one. Spiker with the trade, but it's Niccolo with diffuser on the objective, and Spiker has no C4. He's gonna have to sprint right up the stairs, has to identify the position. He'll see the back of his head, and he'll go for the shots. They will connect. Arial Arise, they will avoid a disastrous round. They will take round number 6, and they will come out of their half on defense on top.
I swear to God, I thought I was gonna see the exact same thing happen where Spiker just kind of dies on white stairs, but he did not. He played that really well, as a matter of fact, doing what what should have been done last time, which was to rotate down white stairs and not challenge Niccolo and not give him a freebie. But nonetheless, Niccolo was not able to Superman his way through that one, wasn't able to clutch it out. And Biblioteca, they really had that attack in their hands. I mean, honestly, that should have been a Biblioteca 3-3, but Arial Arise They'll keep this defender side at 4-2 for them, and they'll now move their way over to the attack. Now, problem for Arial Arise that they're going to be working against is the Cade, right? Well, it should be brought out, but we aren't seeing it yet. I'm not sure why. I mean, I guess like Maverick is a great counter to Cade and all that, but I feel like a Cade can still be sort of a thorn in the side of your attack. I guess it's not too big of a deal. The Mute's definitely better in this position. So, yeah, I guess I can see it working out. But anyway, let's see what Biblioteca can do. Now that they're on defense, now that they're on the more advantageous side, can they start to work away this comeback? It's a lot easier than the 5-1 that was greeted by Arial Arise players, but it's still a disadvantage that they're going to have to push against.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, we can see here starting out this half, we got a pretty similar lineup, you know, like you highlighted, coming out from Biblioteca. Also, the Aruni is seeing play again. Really good to see her being brought into the meta. I'm liking what teams are, you know, using her for. It's not like you can get very creative with her gadget. That's the one qualm I have. You know, you just slap it on a gate and or slap it on a door and you kind of move away. But exactly how you want to play those gates around the rest of your operator lineup, that's where things can get a bit unique. Do you want to stack up a gate and use some ADSs to even protect the gate or to compound that kind of angle? Or is it going to be like this? Is it going to force you to just burn utility off of the site, like very far away from the site here, downstairs, and that double door coming from Showers Corridor over into Z and White Stairs, where we can now see Rice and Nicolo both choosing to lock this down. We've got a heavy pressure over on this side, also pressure on the tower stairs side being applied from Helio. So another pretty heavy roam, but one that has already been completely dismantled. Og and Axe, a double kill between the two of them. They will cut down this west side roam of Rice and Nicolo. Helio, all that remains, and he will make an impact. A swing over from the green hall in through kitchen will be the end of Og. So a good response for his fallen teammates. Na has another one. Actually on the top floor, did not even see him here, but now he'll get a little bit over eager to rotate away. And within a minute 15 of this round beginning, it is already a 3v2. 3 defenders out of this round, all of them playing extended and off the bomb site. Helio and Unfair, 2 players that remain. We did miss that kill, but it was Helio prone in the corner, avoiding getting spotted by the drone, and he will clutch another kill.
Helio has definitely been the star player here for Biblioteca. A player that we saw definitely awake last game here, but for him to lead the charge on kind of these half-supporting roles, we'll call him a flex, give him a 3rd kill here, looking to swipe the head off of Woods as well for a 4th, but it's Unfair and Helio in a 2 versus 1, all thanks to Helio's work. 3 kills on the board for him. Insane stuff from the flex player, this flex flank watch player being brought out by Helio, but round's not over yet. Woods still has 2 drones that he can work with here. Starting to push into Freezer. Crossfire, however, is being established. Unfair, sitting close along door, and Helio sitting inside a pillar. I mean, this is literally a crossfire. The bullet trails are about to make a plus sign. First gas going out here. I don't think Woods can actually jump through that hole. So Woods actually, he is basically, wow, I thought he shot that.
Yeah,
okay.
Wait a second.
Well, that was interesting, but Woods, I mean, it doesn't really change the outcome either way. Woods is looking for a freebie. Not going to be able to find it in most cases. With 10 seconds left, they hear Woods choking through this gas, and they know what's going to happen next. Unfair will claim that kill. No 4K here for Helio, but it should not be understated the performance that man just had. It's going to be around for Biblioteca, and one more, and they'll be all equaled up.
Helio, oh my word. I mean, that was a round and a half. The roam, which, you know, we talked a lot about on both sides, both of these teams really loving to pull out that heavy extension. The roam was shut down instantaneously by Arial Arise. It was a very impressive early clear. You have the double swing at the same time from both, I believe it was Nicolo and Na playing over there. That was Rice. It was Rice on the Mozzie. They're both Mozzie in security, Nicolo on the top of main stairs, or freezer stairs rather. And they both swung out, and they both got immediately shut down. That should have been a fantastic start for Arial Arise, but it was one that was left a little sour taste in their mouth because you had Helio come on around from that kitchen side, and a beautiful, beautiful shot taking out at least one of those entering Arial Arise players, and then Helio finding 2 more kills before even returning to the bomb site, or one before returning to the bomb site over on that tower side. We saw him go prone in the corner, avoided getting spotted out, and when one of those Arial Arise attackers decided to creep on into his crossfire or crosshair, that was a quick decisive blow from Helio. He rotated downstairs, found a kill in Freezer, and then it was all over at that point. Really bringing Biblioteca back in a round that looked like they had no business winning. Yet again, we're seeing a lot of these rounds, just their outcome completely turned on its head by one star player or another.
What an interesting setup we're seeing being brought out by the Saruni on Rice.
Reloading.
So what he's doing is he's placing the gates on the other side, the side facing the attackers, because first of all, it's pretty obvious what happens whenever you shoot hard breach utility into that wall with the Aruni gates. It will get burned out. But the main thing is that you can sit by the gates and have them be deactivated, and then when you move away from them, they activate. So basically, what Arial Arise are going to have to do is they're going to have to try and burn those gates. And if they can't, because there's a player sitting next to the wall, the gates can just be activated by that player. Og, are you kidding me? He takes down Niccolo as we're trying to talk about the most analytical stuff possible. What has been going on with the wall bangs, man? They've got to be running some sort of cheats. Like, I am in disbelief by the amount of wall bangs that have happened on this game so far. Og, it's your turn now to be on the cheating mode, to be on that wall hack. But good opening pick there onto Niccolo. Hasn't been having the best of games so far. Definitely was shining on the attack, especially with that clutch and basically giving it Biblioteca an entire round. But when it comes to numbers, it's all Helio all day. Really good pick there to start us off.
Located a bomb.
Yeah, of course, you know, these players just really performing at their best right now. Their game sense as well, exceptional. They know exactly where they should be pre-firing here. Rice going to showcase that once again. Another kill coming out for Biblioteca, a couple in fact, now that both Spiker and Og are out of this fight. Niccolo was taken down, so a little bit of a trade here, but Arial Arise, once again, they find themselves on the back foot. Axe is going to catch Rice out, looking the other way to even out the man count here. Helio is also playing below. This could be big as well, because Axe probably thinks no chance there's a third roamer downstairs, but here comes Helio. He'll creep up the stairs silently, and while Axe is making as much noise as possible, not sure if he knows exactly where the flank is coming from. Unfair is going to line up a kill on the bomb site and force both Axe and Dami to get a little bit more aggressive, and that means Helio could swing on through. You gotta act now because the site pressure is getting dismantled. He will do so. Dami is the one who gets caught out there, just walking face first into the MP5. A nice little kiss here from the Malusi. Bonk! And there they go. That's gonna be the round for Biblioteca.
I think I need to clarify, nobody's actually cheating. These guys are all, like, not cheating.
Of course not.
No. But anyway, besides that, didn't see much of anything from that Aruni gate that I was so excited to see. But anyway, Biblioteca, off of a very aggressive basement hold, they'll take the equalizing round. It's going to be 4-4, and this is a very common theme that we're seeing. This defensive ruling game. And, well, Arial Arise, they're going to be struggling for a very long time if they kind of let Biblioteca just slip by them to get an attacking round. We saw Biblioteca in this exact same position where they just simply were having a lot of trouble on their attack. But once they got it working out, it was their game. Once they were able to get those attacks working in their favor, they were able to storm them away and just take this game. Can Arial do the same thing? Biblioteca will be going on to their tertiary bomb site. Theoretically speaking, this is where Arial Arise can make their comeback on this site that isn't commonly played because, you know, it's not the best site in the game. As a matter of fact, it's probably one of the worst sites in the game. Both of them, both the kitchens, the kitchen dining and the kitchen meeting. Not really popular amongst competitive players, but if they can get it to work, it'll be really stunning, and it'll definitely be helping out Biblioteca, who will then be able to go downstairs, where we saw them, I wouldn't say convincingly taking the round, but they made it pretty easy for themselves.
Well, I mean, Arial Arise have made it rather easy for Biblioteca to make this comeback. I mean, only 2 rounds in, and the comeback has been made. We're sitting even, and I did say, I mean, we both talked about, Adam, how Biblioteca on defense, that's where things get scary for any team. But as Arial Arise have shown, it is very hard to deal with a couple of these players who refuse to rotate back to the bomb site. I mean, look at this kind of extension. We've got a couple of players upstairs, 3 on the objective itself, and we actually have a nice little extension set up over here towards the kitchen side. We've got an Aruna gate, some barbed wire, and a deployable shield, all designed to stall out the pressure that it looks like Axe is now hoping to build. Cooking up a nade and throwing that one down range, but a nice ADS. Here comes Unfair. He'll go for the swing. Oh no! Axe with the team kill onto Dami. Rice will respond. Another one onto Og, and Biblioteca are running away with this one. Axe was busy cooking up that nade while the swing came in from Unfair, and Dami is going to pay the price.
I mean, Arial Arise, they're already an emotional team, just being the young gunners. They're naturally young. That's going to be playing a huge mental toll there. And, well, I guess they'll recover the nade game there. Woods with a nice Kobe to Niccolo, who will die inside of Pit. And Helio's looking to retake, however. There's one pattern that we've noticed from Biblioteca, and that's whenever they lose control of something, they'll keep on hammering away to get it back. And this is no different. As Helio is working his way up, playing very patiently. I'm not sure if he's been spotted or not. We heard the P10 Roni going off. Rice is going to take a lot of damage, and looks like he's going to rotate over to Lobby. I'm not sure what he was doing there, but just playing inside a split for now. 50 seconds, and, well, Arial Arise are taking their sweet time. They'll open up the wall, but unfortunately there are no breaching charges left. Woods is going to have to use his M4 to cut down the soft breaching area. Spiker, he might be able to drone out this flanking player, and if not drone him out, at least one of the 3 dead teammates will be able to spot him. 28 seconds, however, time flies a lot in this game, and it is certainly doing so now. Gas grenade gonna pop, and Spiker, he's gonna be the most influential player. He'll drop the hatch instead. He'll take down Nah. Beautiful shot there onto the Malusi. Here comes Helio on the hatch, however. He'll take down Woods and drop Case. Spiker's left in a 1 versus 3, and he cannot do it. Biblioteca, they just make it a 2 versus 5. And this is just looking oh so convincing for Biblioteca. Arial, you can tell their mental's just simply not in the right place.
Wow, that is... I mean, it's the defense from Biblioteca. I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but Clubhouse, it was 5-1. And that's not something that happens very often. Here, it looks like it's going to be the same story. I mean, Arial Arise, they came out on defense and they did their job. I will give them that. But when you're on Oregon, you need to have these attacks down. That right there was just not their best approach. We've seen a lot better, especially on that tertiary bomb site. What they at first attempted to do was kind of like 5-stack that pretty direct approach on that first floor, straight on into the tower side and work their way around to kitchen and meeting. And that is a very good attempt, I'll give them that. But when that went wrong, you don't really have much of a choice after that. It was a 2v5 at that point, and you don't have the utility or the time to go upstairs and go for a top-down clear anymore. You only have really one option, and it is just full send and hope it works. Maybe in hindsight, I would have gone for a top-down clear first. I would have established the vertical control early on just to make sure that you don't have to deal with... I mean, Unfair could have been dealt with had Arial Arise taken control of Attic, right? You can establish the vertical holes and you can throw it down, a nade from above, or just cut his rotation off from above. That little extra step done a bit earlier would have prevented the disaster that unfolded on that tower side that resulted in the death of Axe and Dami. A couple of things, obviously, in retrospect, we can talk about, but in the moment, it was a 50-50 chance for Arial Arise. They went for the direct take, and, well, the aggression of Biblioteca, it is more than enough to shut that down.
It's not even like they didn't have time either. I mean, Arial Arise were in the very breaking part of, like, they were at the dawn of their attack. They had so much time to work with in that entire engagement, and they simply didn't. Like, they were just too focused on taking these gunfights that really should not be in their favor. And I mean, man, we cannot understate that team kill. Cannot. I mean, that hurts, man. That hurts to watch sometimes.
It's your buck as well. No vertical play anymore.
Yeah. I mean, especially on a site like that, like, oh, I mean, it's those small things. It's those very small things, those micro adjustments, those micro managements, they can really hurt. And Arial Arise, they were down in a 2 versus 5, having, like you said, not taken any top floor control at that point. They were just swinging right into Biblioteca, who are now up 5-4, as we're waiting on Woods to get back. I'm not sure. I think he's AFK, and once he gets back, we'll be able to jump back into this Oregon series, which again, I mean, gotta be more useful with your time, Ariel. Gotta be.
I mean, these are the kind of mistakes that you often see with teams that are bringing new people onto their roster, because you don't have that sixth sense where you know what your teammate is going to be doing at all times. And that comes with just putting in the hours with somebody. It comes in just grinding out in ranked, in scrims. It just comes with time. You'll start to know exactly what your teammates are doing, and time management is a lot easier. Just imagine, an IGL walking into a lobby with 5 people or 4 other people they've never worked with before and trying to coordinate an attack, even if those players are very experienced, as everyone in this lobby is. It is so much harder to do that attack in the time that you have when those circumstances present themselves. And I think we're seeing that struggle from Arial. We've seen that struggle from Biblioteca as well. And I think that's why this series so far is more defensive-sided than we are used to seeing, because even though we're late in the season, it's kind of like we're just starting things off for both of these teams, because while they are 3/5 of their original rosters, they have undergone some pretty major changes, some role changes, and that really messes with the fundamentals and everything you've brought into the entire season. So the fact that everyone predicted Arial Arise here, that's because they were just so strong in the regular season in that group stage, and right now they're just not showing us their ability to continue that as we get into playoffs here. But as we get into round number 10, they'll be looking to answer. They had a timeout to regroup. They're going to try to approach this attack on the basement with a little bit of a different attitude here. They're already in the building, 30 seconds in. Axe looking to shut down any rotation on this tower side, trying to eliminate as much roam and as soon as possible. Doing more than that, actually, swinging on tower stairs and holding off this pillar's angle.
It's really aggressive what Nal's doing here as well. I mean, I think a simple drone will shut down his plans, but Nal's safe to rotate away. The reason why he's doing this is because if he gets droned out, he'll know and he'll just back off. But if he doesn't, it could be a massive play. But Arial Arise, we talked about their time management. It can be really rough sometimes, but right now that's not what we're seeing. Arial have gotten themselves upstairs. They're starting to work on the hatches. They got E-Box hatch. This is good. This is really good from Arial. Now you have to watch your flanks. There is no Nomad being brought by Arial Arise. They're going to have to do this with flank drones, with cutoffs, and with maybe just a tad bit of face checking. But I think someone's moving his way down tower stairs as well. Dommy's starting to work over on the freezer side, and Arial Arise in general, they're stalling out, and this is kind of what you expect. Their time management's doing good so far. Are you kidding me, Nicolo? A beautiful shot that Axe even can't believe. He goes down to what was the linchpin of Clubhouse, but is now slowly starting to turn on the gears. Nicolo is absolutely insane. He just fries Axe off of the tower stairs angle, and Dommy's gonna have to be the one responsible for retaking that area. 50 seconds left, and Biblioteca, they're just gonna be able to stall out Arial for a very long period of time.
Yeah, 45 seconds are all that remains, and those Habana X Kairos pellets all just got shot out, going, I guess, furthering this deficit Arial Arise are in right now. That early aggression and that early few steps they were looking to get done, it's all fallen by the wayside now. 30 seconds remain, and they have done nothing to speak of. This Rice is going to line up 2, not droning out Harry Potter. Og will finally find an answer, 2 answers in fact, but it is still Woods and Og, 20 seconds against 3. Og going to push on in through box, player close on his left. That's now lining up Woods, now lining up Og, a double kill to finish it off. And Biblioteca, they take round 10 and they move ahead to match point. They have not lost a defensive round yet.
That is so poor from Arial. They didn't drone out Harry Potter. That's frustrating. They didn't drone out Harry Potter. They didn't check out Na. Na was there basically the entire time. He was literally sitting in that corner for the entire round, and Arial didn't drone him out. That is the fundamentals, man. Those are the fundamentals of Siege. You have to check all your corners. and Arial Arise, they'll simply fall victim to an extremely rat-like play that honestly should not have worked out. When I saw Dami moving down tower stairs, just simply not looking at Rice, I knew heartbreak was inevitable. And that's exactly what happened. Arial Arise, they're now down on the back foot. Biblioteca are a map above them, and they are currently on match point. Arial Arise have so much work to do. They have so much to climb back from, and they aren't showing signs of life right now. A simple missed drone just costed them not just one round, but match point. Like, that is insane.
Yeah, well, they have another primary bomb site as well. It's not like we have to see meeting or dining or anything like that. It's dorms and kids. It is a site that we've seen all the time on Oregon, and a site that Biblioteca have played excellently on, both on both sides of the coin, really. But defense is what matters right now, and there's no reason to expect why they can't replicate this success. Maybe if they get a bit overconfident, we can see Arial Arise finally figure out a way to punish them, just like we nearly saw on Clubhouse. But this is the time to do it. A reminder that we are in double elimination playoff bracket. So Arial Arise, if they lose this, their hopes are not completely done for SCS Season 5. They will have a chance to fight on later, but I mean, they would really like to make it on into the semis and make it on into the finals without having to grind their way through the losers bracket. But right now, that is just not looking like the case. Already, 30 seconds in, we can see them going through their usual checklist. They are going to bring out that default approach, and at least they will start off with a big impact frag. Helio, that overconfidence I talked about, well, there it is on display. Having found 12 kills so far, hunting for that 13th, going to get shut down early.
Rice is also going to fall off of Z here. I think the drone might have actually just saved his life, as he was about to run into not only Og, but I think a player sitting inside a garage. Nah, what are you doing? Og will just claim another freebie there, as Helio and Nah both go down. Two top performers from Clubhouse. One top performing right now in Oregon. Both off the board. Nah, simple mistake there. That just does not happen that often. A mute trick gone wrong, I guess. But good start here from Arial. Now they just simply need to push against this. They just need to be careful. Rice is still on the flank. This could either turn into disaster for Arial or possibly a free kill. Can go either which way. Spiker. Off for set of Plaza here as the gas covers the door. So Rice is making his way up main. Nicolo's going to take down Axe, but it's a refrag immediately. Rice is going to have to push up now, and he'll take down Dami. He flanked main, and now he's going to back off with his life completely intact. But Spiker's going for the plant. Unfair is going to make this call. He's going to try and gas it. I don't think that goes to the wall, and even if it does, Spiker will have enough time to do it. But Rice, he'll take down yet another. That's all going down. Unfair as well. Now starting to push up against us. Spiker takes down Rice, but it's Unfair. Close by. Takes down Spiker. It's literally a 1 versus 1 for their entire winner's bracket run for Arial Arise. Unfair. He has a solid lead on where Woods might be. He's got to reload. Only 17 bullets left. No more gas remaining. Unfair is going to start to fake this defuse. Drag Woods down into pit, and he knows now where he is. Nade toss, but it's going to get burned. Unfair's going to have to swing! Oh! And he gets it with 9 seconds left. That's enough time! Arial Arise! They fall down into the loser's bracket in one of the worst ways possible. Who would have thought? It's Biblioteca, the team that we never expected to make this run. Literally all of us, all casters, all of our predictions are wrong. It's Biblioteca with a 7-4. Stunning stuff here from this X-Synthetic roster.
Well, we can let the underdog story continue. Biblioteca will move on straight into the semifinals, and a dominant performance to take them there. Exceptional play. Helio proving to be that highlight player. We really talked a lot about Nicolo all night long, but at the end of the day, it was Helio who was most consistent between the two maps and was just going off in that last round. Unfair, proving to be the clutch god that we have seen from him time and time again. You slap him on the smoke, you give him an SMG-11, and, well, you're going to send your enemies trembling away. Arial Arise, shut down in 2 maps. Biblioteca take it.
Wow. That is simply stunning. Vamos a la Biblioteca. They move on to the semifinals. I felt like Milosh. I just try to speak in a different language, but I'm not good at it. I'm not as good as he is. But wow, I mean, we talked about Arial Arise, the champions. They're the 2 times, baby, but they couldn't even get themselves out of the quarterfinals without getting shot down to the lower bracket. Their 3rd ring is going to have to wait for a very short period of time as the T3 savants that are Arial Arise fall to X Synthetic. Helio, we talked about Helio and Niccolo. Man, oh man, those 2 stunning stuff. But I mean, even though we saw an absolutely shocking performance from Niccolo at the very first map, overall, like you said, that entire game just Helio, man. Helio all day.
Well, I really loved Oregon. That was a much better map than Clubhouse. It was polished for the most part by both teams, and it was really impressive. Max, I know you were lurking around in the background. You got any thoughts about that one, man? That was crazy.
X Synthetic, Biblioteca, they have 2 new pickups, and they have been 2 amazing pickups at that. There's so much I want to figure out in the interview between them. But before we get into that, though, the communities were wrong. It was 80% on the community polls in the favor of Arial Rise, guys. And it was the underdog that came through in the quarterfinals. But I gotta ask you, Adam, do you think this is the end of the line for Biblioteca? Are they going to be able to get out of the semis as well, or have they just had their time in the sun?
Honestly, man, if Niccolo, if Helio, and if Na play the way that they just did, they can have a run that none of us expected. I mean, this is a team that they're so quiet, you know, they're surrounded by big names, Mystic, Honor, Arial Arise, and then all of a sudden they just come out with this absolutely stunning performance against a team that is trying to collect the Infinity Stones of T3, and they lose. I mean, wow. Biblioteca, not only have they proven themselves against Arial Arise, but I definitely think that you should watch out for them moving on into the rest of the bracket.
And so with that, let's go look at the stats now and see how map 1 went. Of course, we already saw those stats, but map number 2 could be a very similar story. We're going to take a look at the stats and how it all compares to each other. 1.424 Spiker. It's going to match up perfectly with the Clutch God, as you said yourself, Jonah, with Helio both evening out there. But there, the stats for Arial Rise kind of fall apart, whereas with Biblioteca, it doesn't as much.
And for Spiker to put up that performance, I mean, that is, well, first of all, amazing from Spiker. Great stuff there. But the fact that you're having your attacking support player and you kind of your flex defender, who is certainly not the one you expect to be the star fragger, really just leading the team, it does speak to the problems that Arial Arise were having. People that we normally see pop off, Woods, Dami, Og, they were not performing up to snuff. In map 2, both Dami and Woods going substantially negative there, or at least Woods going -5 overall. I mean, that kind of performance, it is no surprise why we did not see this consistency from Arial Arise that we have seen in the past. We talked a lot about Niccolo. His performance on map 2 was definitely not as strong as map 1. Coming down in 4th in terms of rating, up only a 0.84 rating, but Helio really stepped up. 1.42 rating, again, unbelievable stuff, fragging out and playing support roles sometimes at the same time. We saw the Aruni pick coming out all the time. I mean, just incredible stuff. And like Adam said, if we see this team go far, I honestly would not be surprised.
So let's talk about that Aruni pick then, Jonah, because she's the newest operator to come into the pool of operators inside of Rainbow Six Siege competitively. Does that mean she could be the meta shift that we need to see for the competitive scene, or is she just really good for Biblioteca?
To be completely honest, I think Aruni doesn't add a ton to a defensive setup. I think it does add some, especially when Wamai is banned. It's great to have that additional projectile denial when you want to run a Jaeger and you combine that with an Aruni. But in terms of, you know, is the entire round going to change out in the way it progresses because there's an Aruni in the lobby? I just don't think so. So it was interesting to see them pull it out, and I really love to see them, you know, innovating and bringing out those strategies. And it definitely worked for them, but I don't think that's the reason why their edge was just so substantial today.
But then we got to ask, what was the reason?
I mean, Adam, what do you got? Because I don't know.
Well, he starts with an H and ends in an Elio. I'm just going to give you that. I mean, that was really good from them. And obviously, you can't forget the clutches of Niccolo. That man has just basically made a name for himself in one T3 game.
Absolutely.
Stunning.
It's not often we to see two pickups seemingly from out of nowhere in the depths of Siege, able to come up and make those names for themselves. But Adam, let's talk more about Nicolo and Helio again, because again, they were able to be clutch masters for both of their games. But what about the rest of their team as well? Did they put up those same results as well?
I mean, honestly, with the fact that you kind of had this trident and this sort of triad between Nicolo and Helio, I don't even know if it mattered. Rice and Unfair, they were just kind of in the background. You know, you had Unfair as your smoke player, and you had Rice as your flex support, just doing whatever they could. And honestly, I think it's good enough. Rice and Unfair, if you want to really talk about them showing up, like showing up in the big terms, watch that last round of Oregon, where they both were able to clutch out a round that honestly should not have gone in their favor. With Arial Arise in the site, they overextended just a little bit, and they met their makers because of that Aruni and because of that smoke. So, yeah, I think that they're background characters in an even bigger story, but they have got a lot to work on and a lot to push through. But man, did they look impressive today.
All very important people on their team. But let's take a return back look at those stats again, because I want to point out one small little thing. Jonah, you said it yourself coming into the second map, is that we didn't see any of those briefcases. We didn't see too many diffuses coming out from Clubhouse, and the one we saw on Oregon was the one that mattered most.
Yeah, I mean, it was that last round, the one that really shook it up. Of course, Spiker Roundler got one plant on the side of Arial Arise, and Unfair put one down on the side of Biblioteca here. But again, it was that frag-heavy game that we don't often see when you have these two maps as the place we're going to start out this series. 2 plants over 2 maps is not a stat that you normally see. I mean, it's not like the timer ever expired on the diffuser. We never really saw the plant even go down, and that really just feeds into this Biblioteca approach. Maybe if Arial Arise got a little bit more objective focus, maybe a little bit more case focused in terms of getting that bomb down, we would have seen a little bit different results here. But I mean, there's not much more to say. I mean, the frag heavy nature of Biblioteca carried them forward. It was their biggest point that they were just constantly pushing on both maps on their defensive side, and they were the ones who set the pace, set the rhythm, and set the kind of vibes for the defensive-sided series that we just witnessed.
It really did seem like both teams had an immaculate defensive side, but Adam, when it came down to both of the teams, I do feel like Arial Rise's attack was a little bit more underwhelming compared to Helios and the rest of Biblioteca.
I think that Arial Arise just had a lot of communication problems. I mean, it was very obvious that there were some plays that could have, been a lot less bad. I mean, if we think of that Wamai playing inside of Harry Potter, getting a double kill that should have not only been called out and it should have been just one kill in a trade, but also the fact that they just simply didn't drone that out. There's so many instances you can go back on, very small details, where you can kind of see Arial Arise's communication was simply not where it should have been. In Biblioteca, well, they're a flank-heavy team. They play eccentric, they play ecstatic, they play that, sort of swing game. And whenever it works, man, it plays into your mental. And the fact that Arial didn't drone just made it all the worse for them to deal with it. So Biblioteca, I mean, that cocktail is just, it's disgusting. It doesn't taste very good. And, well, it came out here on map number 1 and map number 2, especially map number 2.
Oh yeah, map number 2 was so impressive, especially for Helio, and I bet you can't guess who the man of the hour is. The one we're going to have to interview now, it's going to be Helio himself. I'm really excited because I have so many different questions to see what this new breakout player for the T3 scene can bring to us. What's up, Helio? How's it going?
What's up, Max? I'm doing pretty good.
Pretty well after watching. Yeah, you're doing great. I mean, after watching you play, it was fantastic to see, but I got a few questions for you. So, you and Nicolo came on to Biblioteca, but you're kind of, I don't want to say unknowns to the T3 or amateur scene of Siege, but you certainly were not as much of a known name up until today. Can you tell us a little bit about your history as a competitive player?
Well, I've been playing competitive off and on for about 8 or 9 months. Usually off, not as much on. Recently, I've been playing a lot more comp, and I played in the recent CL quals. Nicolo was my teammate, and we decided to make this team with Unfair, Rice, and and to just do SCS. Like, it was almost like a for fun team. We're probably gonna do more leagues and stuff. We're in SFCL right now, But yeah, me and Nicola have been playing. We're both 18 plus players, and we're just trying to play some T3 for fun right now.
Makes me wonder, do you think Challenger League could be on your horizons next time around?
Depends on the team. Depends if we grind. I think we have the talent to make it. We made it pretty far in the last quals, and we ended up losing to Just Shoot Back. But I think if we keep putting the work in, we could get there. Because me and Nicola both haven't been playing comp for super long.
It seems like you and Niccolo have a kind of a long-reaching history together. Is this the first team you guys have worked together on? I know you mentioned CL Quals, but did it go even beyond that?
No, before that we hadn't teamed together. Our first team was a team that was made about 2 months ago for CL Quals. But we had pretty good synergy on that team, so we decided to join our underage friends.
I mean, you guys have made an impressive name for yourselves. Keep in mind, Arial Rise, CCS champions not even a year ago, no, not even 6 months ago. And here you are, beating them out in the quarterfinals of SCS Season 5. What was the prep work like going into this?
Well, we formed this team about a week ago. I think we scrimmed twice. And we just mostly ran default strats. We were shot calling. We had unfair calling most of our stuff. All of us were communicating, but we were mostly just running defaults and playing to our strengths.
Absolutely insane. A 2-week-old team able to bring it out here. But Helio, I'm sure you've made so many fans tonight, and Niccolo too by extension here. But now you have to tell your fans, what can we expect to see from Biblioteca from here on out? What do you have to say to the audience here tonight?
Vamos a la biblioteca. I don't know. We're here to have fun.
Oh, and you had a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what you guys can bring out in the semifinals. Thank you so much, Helio. It's fantastic interviewing here today, and I'm sure it won't be the last time.
Thank you.
Oh, with that, welcome back, Adam. Welcome back, Jonah. We saw an amazing performance from Niccolo and Helio, but it makes me wonder, what is the future looking like for Biblioteca? Jonah, what's up?
Well, next week, in the semifinals, they're going to have to face either Team Mystic or PDHM. And obviously that's the next matchup coming up tonight, so that'll be interesting to see how that one unfolds. But both of those teams, that is terrifying, especially if you're a week, 2-week-old team. You've got a Challenger League team on one hand, who has been, just increasing their performance in SCS as they've been, starting to rebuild those strats for CL, and you've seen their CL performance that's also been quite strong. But then you've got Team Mystic, who are, without exception, the favorites in all of SCS. Both Group A and Group B are terrified of this team, formerly known as the Gatekeepers, led by Rexavi. They are insanely powerful, and honestly, they bring a lot of those similar elements, that frag-heavy and aggressive style that Biblioteca were showcasing tonight. Either of those opponents they go up again next week, that is going to be a brutal series, and they will definitely have their work cut out for them.
It may be a week until we can see Biblioteca back again on SCS, but don't worry, we still have another fantastic best-of-3 matchup coming up soon, but we're going to have to go to a small break first to see what's going to happen between PDHM and Team Mystic. But don't go anywhere, we're going to go to a small break and we'll be right back.
A triple kill, but Soda Finn, he'll deny the plant. He sees 2 more kills. Oh my god! Soda Finn will find more!
7 seconds left, they gotta pick up the diffuser, but Dami lines up both! Dami with the 1v3! Device, misses shots, he's gonna have to go for the first. He pushes on through! Dylan is better! Round 2, and there's another as Tyrant is finished off, and they all line up for Bone!